6, Gascoyne, WA. Thank you for your correspondence. Mark the librarian says, philosophical question, if there's an NRL grand final and Andrew Moore doesn't call it, does it actually happen? P.S. Yes, because you blokes are very good too. Thanks. Good on you, Mark. And yes, you'll have Quentin Hull, Luke Lewis back with you alongside Gibbsy and Seal back as well for the retiring players thing and all the build up to the men's grand final later on as well. 0467 920 222. Come on up, the Broncos. Someone please ask Melbourne who won the premiership in 2009, because I'm a Cronulla Sharks fan and Melbourne knocked us out. So I'll now go for my second team, which is the Brisbane Broncos from Angelo in Tweed Heads. Thank you, Angelo, for your text. And you keep them coming. 0467 920 222. The Packs. We know about Olivia Koenig and what a proven superstar she is. Rima Butler is playing in her third grand final for her third different club. She got to this day with both Parramatta and Newcastle. Won it previously with the Knights. But I reckon the unsung hero of that team is Tessa Bullard. She is the 5th most experienced player on their roster, the Roosters, behind Kelly, Kelleher, Koenig, all the Ks, and Bridie Parker. She scored a try last time they met, Tessa Bullard. I reckon she's in for a big game this afternoon.
Yeah, she's a good player. There's no doubt about that. And Rima Butler, the old 1-2 punch with her and Amber Hall has been very successful this year, but she won't have that. I tend to agree with you about Olivia Koenig. She is just so good. She is just always, at the top of the list when you talk about best players. The other girl that was missing, of course, in the preliminary final, Aliyah Nusio. She's also a very good player, an aggressive player, and she was serving suspension in that game. So she'll be welcome back. So there are some players that are coming back.
The Broncos forward pack is led by Keely Joseph, who won a comp with the Roosters in the postponed 2021 or 2022 season. She's an established force at Origin and Test level, and in fact today she now surpasses her games tally as a Rooster. So she's played more games officially for the Broncos as of today, Keely Joseph. She guides the front row of Aneta Claudia Anoa-Sala and Brianna Clark, both Test players, and indeed they have Romy Teitzel on the edge as well.
Yeah, Romy Teitzel. Just talking about Brianna Clark, remember when Romy Teitzel went off for the game and she was goal kicking beautifully, and then Brianna came on and was nailing him from the sideline. That is one area that could be very important in this game, but all of those players, they are a really well-balanced side, and Lauren Dam made the transition to the forwards from the Gold Coast Tides, is also doing a good job.
Romy Teitzel, by the way, just on her, the first player ever to notch up a 100-point season. Jocelyn Kelleher, the Roosters halfback, is 1 point away from doing that as well. So she's on 99 points, the Roosters number 7, and we'll see if she can, I'm sure she will at some stage, get to that milestone. I can't go past that bench for the Broncos. Now, I mentioned Destiny Brule. She will now start hooker. So Jada Ferguson, you've got Leonard Dootsy, who's a 50-game player, and Sinead Chizolka, who's a Queensland and Australia player as well. And that's before you get to Shalom Suaso, who was named Dalian Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, she is a dynamite. She is such a powerful player, and when she came on against the Newcastle side, she caused all sorts of problems. So only her 10th game in first grade. She also is a try scorer, but she is a gun. Shaylin Suaso is a superstar buddy.
Kylie from Daysdale, thank you for your text. Says, hi, Brett, looking forward to the call. 0467 920 222. Frank from Cairns, who did Andrew pick for the men's grand final? Do we know it's Maurice? Did you ask him for his tip?
I think so, but I forget.
Send a text in, Maury, please. I want to get your tip for the later on for the Storm and the Broncos. Ants from Levine says, happy grand final day. Spriggy, Gibbsy and Bridget, love this special day. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for bringing the ABC Sport Footy from the ABC Sport Footy family. Love and prayers to Maury. Thank you, Ants. 0467 920 222. The Roosters backline, Gibbsy, is stacked, and I get a feeling, I mentioned Bridie Parker will be out for redemption. She almost cost her side that prelim last week.
She said she felt guilty.
But rewind to last year, she scored 2 tries on grand final day, and she won't have Navidi there on the wing with her, because that is a big loss. But Jess Surgis, Isabel Kelly, all in that back line with her. Not to mention Jamie Frassard, who also scored in the GF last year and also was part of a Broncos team that beat the Roosters in a grand final. So there's a crossover there as well. But those names, I think all listeners know. Isabel Kelly, Jess Surgis, a big part of that Roosters back line. They are the Roosters back line.
Yeah, they are. And just Surgis and Isabel are going to have good games if they're to be competitive here. So it's going to be Isabel up against Julia Robinson and Millie Hufunga up against Jessica Surgis. So those two battles, I know we're across from one side, but it is important to get those matchups because they're going to be key.
Speaking of redemption, Mia Wood, so she was 18th player last year, I mentioned. Didn't have her best game in the prelim, made a few errors at key times. Hopefully for her, at her sake, she can absorb the finals pressure. You mentioned Alia Narcio, the Roosters back rower. She was suspended for the prelim, so she returns to the side, only 19 years of age, but she almost gave the game away as recently as last year. It's her second year in first grade, wasn't part of the 17 on last year's grand final day, so a great story for her here today as well, Narcio, the back rower. Yeah,
Narcio, and she's an aggressive player, so you know when you look at some of those young players and what they've done for a young lady, she has done a really good job, and I don't think she'll be overawed. She won't be daunted by the fact that she's playing in the grand final.
Your text, welcome, 0467920222. Des and Chris at Stanage Bay on a fishing trip, looking forward to a great grand final. Justin from Marrickville, any chance we'll see a Manly Seagulls women's team in the near future? Well, the next CBA, the next TV rights deal is 2028. We may see expansion then. There was a lot of conversation around how the jump from 10 to 12 teams this year did dilute the talent pool and maybe also plays a factor in pumping up these superstar teams, the Roosters and Broncos, and the Broncos may get stronger next year, Gibbsy, with Jessie Southwell heading north.
Absolutely, and that's going to have that's true. The equalisation part of it is important because Jessie Southwell going to Brisbane is certainly going to weaken Newcastle, who have been snapping at the heels of the top sides.
Have you heard any whispers about a Manly Warringah women's team at any stage?
It's certainly on the agenda, but I think it'll be a while. Yeah, I think they'll keep it at 12 for a while now because it's been a big jump.
Team's not far away here. Bridget Murphy on the sideline. What's it like down there now, Bridge?
Oh, the atmosphere is building down here, Spriggy. We've just heard that the Roosters have won the toss, so the Broncos will be kicking right to left. So the Roosters chose to run left to right. And interestingly, we just heard that the checks were done in terms of the heat and conditions here. Now, it read into what is known as the orange zone, which means that there will be allowances for extra runners for water for the women's grand final today. So you might see some more trainers than normal out on the field. If you're watching the game and wondering what's going on, that is due to the heat and conditions.
Okay, great stuff, Bridge, but no sign of extra breaks, for example, but just extra runners.
That's the Kestrel meter.
That's when it gets to the red, I imagine, from orange. So yeah, warm conditions here. It is a beautiful day for footy in the spring. Of course, the last day of this NRL and NRLW 2025 season. So the Broncos and the Roosters not too far away here. Crowd building, maybe 20 or so thousand or thereabouts. We usually finish this game with 40 or so thousand, so over halfway to capacity as part of this massive day. Earlier, the Warriors 50 beat the Billy Bears 20 in the the NRLW State Championship. So just about set to go here. This is built over the course of 12 regular season rounds, 2 prelims of sort of different standard, different score line, but the Roosters and Broncos, they were destined to meet on this day as 2 superstar teams here in 2025, and we'll see who takes out the 8th National Rugby League Women's Premiership. And John Gibbs, you're sticking with the Broncos.
I'm sticking with the Broncos, and I wouldn't be surprised what happened, but it just keeps coming to me. I think their lead-up has been more impressive, and I'm a little bit worried about injuries to Navidi and Taryn Aiken.
Ali Brigginshaw, of course, is the halfback for the Broncos, and she captained their previous 3 premierships. Tamika Upton is their captain now. She'll lead the Broncos out very, very shortly. As I say, 5-time now grand final appearer, 4-time premiership winner, going for a 5th today in her 50th NRLW game. Bridge?
I am going to, even though, yes, I did. Oh, no, I'm actually, you know what? No, I'm going to stick with my original tip. I'm going to go for the Sydney Roosters.
Yeah, I think the Roosters.
I think Tamika Upton will be hard to shut down. She is obviously on fire, as you mentioned, but I just think the Roosters, they've learnt a lot from this season on how to win footy games. Obviously, they haven't dropped a game yet, so I think they will power through with the result.
Okay, Bridget Murphy, thank you. I can't look past the Roosters, and yes, they were ordinary at times last week. So were the Broncos. I think the Roosters achieve their destiny here, Gibbsy, and go back to back.
Oh, they've won 8 in a row. I mean, your thinking is not.
Am I right in saying it's actually the longest streak for men's or women's if they win today? 19?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
It equals Storm and and the Roosters way back.
Wow. Either way, it'll be a good quality grand final. So can't wait for it to start here in just a few minutes' time here.
To put it in perspective, though, the last side, the Brisbane Broncos only lost the one game, and that was against the Roosters.
Yeah.
What was it, 30 to 26?
Yes.
Thereabouts.
Yeah, absolutely. Here come the Broncos. Fullback Tamika Upton, wingers Kerry Johnson, Ali Maddock, centres Nelly Hafonga and Julia Robinson. 5'8" Gal Broughton, halfback Ali Brigginshaw, lock Keely Joseph, back rowers Lauren Dam and Romy Teitzel, front rowers Nana Claudia, Noah Sala and Brianna Clark. The hooker is Destiny Brill. The bench is Jada Ferguson, Chelsea Laduzzi, Sinead Chisolka and Shalom Soaso. 18th is Regan Hicks. The coach is Scott Brent, who also won a comp here 20 years ago for the West Tigers. And the Broncos are out there first. Here come the Roosters. As the song says, fullback Bridie Parker. Wingers, Mia Wood and Jamie Prasad. Centres, Jess Surgis, Captain Isabel Kelly. 5'8" Corbin Baxter, halfback Jocelyn Kelleher. Lock forward Olivia Koenig. She's last year's Dalian Player of the Year and now a 5-time Team of the Year player. Second row is Ali Anasio and Jasmine Strange, going for 3 straight comps. Props are Tessa Bull, Abram Butler. Hooker is Killy Davis. The bench is Burton, Carlisle, Opamawa, and on debut, Jade Hurdigen. 18th, Tanisha Gray. Coach John Strange. Ref Linda Sharp. Touchies Ethan Klein and Rochelle Tamarua. And Chris Butler in the bunker. Sunny skies. High quality footy awaits us here. The NRLW Grand Final of 2025. It's all built to this. Do the Roosters make it 19 wins straight, 13 for the year and go back to back? Can the Broncos return to the top of the NRLW standings with their 4th premiership win? Here they go. Kick off by Brianna Clark and the Roosters to have first use from that northern half of the Stadium Australia. Swung right across centre field now. Parker will feed it on here to the front rower in Tessa Bulle, and she's brought down 17 out from that northern line here for the Sydney Roosters. Now it comes to Jasmine Strange, and she skips into the line now. She's nailed down low there by Romy Teitzel. Play at 30 out, 20 in from the western side. Koenig now will use it back now to Tessa Bulle, and she's cut down. 5 short of the 40-metre line here for the Sydney Roosters. Dummy half Davis will go on the attack, showing it with Koenig. Gains about 8 or 9 more here over the halfway in this very first set of the NRLW Grand Final 2025. Just inside Broncos territory. Onto the run there of Kelleher. She's dragged down from behind there as well. A great chase and tackle there from the Broncos defence. 38 out from that southern line. It is last play for the Chooks as the kick goes up this time. I think it was Davis who put the kick up there for the Roosters. It'll go down towards Tamika Upton. Now a 2-time Dalian Player of the Year winner, and she's 20 out and 20 in from the western side. First use here of this game for the Brisbane Broncos. On that slightly western side of the ground, Kerry Johnson. Platt, 25 out from her own line. Now it's come through hands. There is Robinson. She was run up, of course, behind her teammate Tamika Upton, the Dalian Player of the Year. Was forced to miss a game as sort of injury precaution. Now they come centre field now, the Brisbane Broncos. Strong defence as Koenig does meet the ball carrier in there, and Owasala. Coming up toward the halfway line here. Put to the deck is Brianna Clark. Rita short of the halfway. And now Brill from dummy half will find Broughton. Up goes a high spiralling ball. It'll drop 20 out. Allowed to bounce by Wood. Back here now for the Broncos. And Destiny Brill is wrapped up, and that will be a changeover. 25 out from that northern line. 20 in Western touch. No score so far in the grand final. 2 minutes gone first half. Bridget Murphy touchline.
Well, when you look at those two opening sets side by side, the Roosters absolutely powering through with better field position, but the Broncos definitely giving a good crack at the attack. And that kick, if it bounced and there was a bit of space, that would have been dangerous, and they may have gone through for a try.
Nerves there for Mia Wood, John Gibbs.
Yeah, absolutely. And the bouncing ball, but it was a good start for the Roosters because they ran the ball 60 metres and they...
Narcio goes to ground. He gives you, sorry, back to you shortly. Pass comes out to the eastern side, and I'll argue last touch, and it will come back here for a Broncos ball 40 out from their own line.
No, bad ball there. But what they did, it was they restricted the Brisbane Broncos to only running 30 metres. So they made 60 with their first set, took the ball downfield strikingly, and the Broncos struggled to make any ground. So good start to the Roosters.
So here go the Broncos on the attack. Strange makes the tackle on Keely Joseph. As I said, former Rooster, want to comp with them. Comes back on the inside now for Lauren Dan, who transitioned from the back line last year. Scored a try last time these sides met. Inside the Roosters half now go the Broncos. Upton set up on there by Narcio. Strong tackle. And she'll play it. Maybe it's inside that Roosters half. Numbers around the ball here now for the Broncos. Keely Joseph. And she's tackled now, 30 out centre field. Couple of plays left in the set now for the Broncos. No score so far in the NRLW Grand Final. It comes away here to a strong run from Sala, and a good post-contact gain where she is stopped by Davis, and also in there a Tessa Boulay. 20 out, open side left they come here. Broughton, little jinking run, now a kick. She's chasing and takes on the fullback, feeds it back, and now the try has not quite been scored by Lauren Dam. I thought she had all the time in the world, Gibbsy, but she met the padding of the right hand upright, and it will remain, well, it's now with the Roosters. It was stolen away, and the Roosters somehow stopped that attempt from the Broncos.
Beautiful kick and chase there by Gail Broughton, and then she linked with Lauren Dam, and she looked like she was going to score. She was scrapping sideways. The padding of the post got in the way, but there was really good desperate defence there by the Roosters.
I can't work out why she even ran that side of the post, because she had open slather, I think, under the bar. Anyway, Jasmine Strange will draw the penalty here for the Roosters, the first of the game. So it's still no score. Roosters, Broncos, NRLW Grand Final, 5 gone first half. Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, almost, she just wasn't looking up. We talk all the time about playing eyes up footy. She was looking around potentially for a bit of a late offload for the Broncos to go over that line and run straight into the post. So unfortunate loss of an opportunity there for Brisbane.
I reckon Scott Prince is saying, damn. Anyway, here's a run now from Rima Butler, and she'll play it 40 out from her own line here. Roosters back on the advance. 5 gone first half here. You're with Brett Sprigg, John Gibbs, Bridget Murphy, the NRLW decider. Fed over halfway here, and now a Tessa Boulay with a half break. 40 out centre fielders are in Broncos territory, but again a penalty going the Roosters' way. Quick tap here by Davis. She has it now across off to Corbin Baxter, and she's nailed around the hips. 30 out, 20 in from the eastern side. On that far edge here for the red, white and Bluesters. Now again a Tessa Boulay. Straight into the run now, 20 out. Opportunity here for the Chooks. They're unbeaten so far. No score in the grand final yet. Comes to Surgis. On the outside now she goes with a dummy. Now on the inside for Brodie Parker. She threads her way past Brill. Tackled there by Joseph. Play it now for Surgis. Open side left they come. Through hands again, Koenig. Flat ball to Boulay. And she's to within 7 now. Driven back by that strong Broncos defence. South end of Stadium Australia. And now it comes in the second last. Davis off to Koenig and stopped there. She stands in the Teitzel tackle. This will be last play. Chooks beat her also out from that southern line. Davis across now again here. Kelleher. Long pass across for Frazard. Had work to do. Tackled by Upton. The ball stays with her. Changeover. 13 out from that southern line. Broncos back on the attack, Gibbsy, and 7 gone first half. Still no score.
Yeah, great defence there by the Broncos on their own line, and that was a big change, wasn't it? Lauren Dam nearly scored.
Oh, here goes the run now from the Broncos. That was fantastic from Robinson. She's nailed though, 40 outs in the field. That was Upton like the way she exploded away.
She's strong.
And now it's with Kerry Johnson. She scored a couple of tries against the Knights in the prelim last week. Inside Roosters territory here on play 2, and now it will be the Broncos' first penalty of the afternoon.
Tap They're off
They
again.
do tap quickly here again. They go. Destiny Brill gains a quick 10 now for the Bronx. 25 out centre field, looking for the first points of this NRLW Grand Final here at Stadium Australia on ABC Sport. And now a strong run here from the Broncos. Fed back to Brown and Clark. Offloads back here wide to Upton. And now Brigginshaw dummies. Jinx in field now, taken down by Bulle. 12 out centre field now for the Broncos, attacking that Roosters line northern end. Pass went behind its would-be first receiver. Retrieved now by Gal Broad. Takes light work of Jasmine Strange with that step. And now she's 9 away from that northern line. Chance here for the Broncos on tackle 4. Open side right they come. Low awkward ball there it was for Clark. And she can't quite find the gap. Put down 5 away from the goal post northern end. Brill dummy half. Sets up there. Offloads now back to Keely Joseph. And she darts away with a big fend. Firstly on Butler. Wrapped up by Narcio. And is tackled now. Meter out from that Roosters line. Last play Broncos. Who blinks first here? Short side right. Brigginshaw's kick is ricocheted away here off Narcio. And the Roosters dive on that footy and kept possession back.
Yeah, it wasn't the best kick there by Ali Brigginshaw, but good work by Narcio because she just had it under control and wasn't going to try and pick it up and run more metres. She just got the ball back for the Roosters. End-to-end stuff. It's going from one end to the other.
And still no score. NRLW Grand Final, Roosters Broncos. You're with Brett Sprigg. John Gibbs, Bridget Murphy going to bridge it shortly as Parker receives the ball here for the Roosters. Gains a quick 15. 7 short of that line now here at Stadium Australia. They come wide now as Kelleher kicks from inside the 40-metre line. It'll bounce high and long down towards that far corner. Retrieved by the winger and Hayley Maddock. Made a Queensland debut at fullback this year in 2025, the Origin Series. And they'll keep possession here, the Broncos. 17 out from that southern line. We've played 9 minutes in this grand final, and the Roosters and Broncos have not yet scored. There is Hufanga. She is a presence. She shrugs away one tackler. Still going. Steamroll Surges. Gets towards halfway. Has Parker to beat. Does so. Still going. Coming across. Narcio makes the tackle. That run for Mele Hufanga. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Play at 40 out now, Broncos. They waste no time. Broughton finds Brigginshaw. Now Upton bursts up on the inside. She's claimed 30 out, 20 in. On play 3 now, Broncos. Brigginshaw looks to the outside. Fed away here again. And in position, Julia Robinson is slung to the turf by Narcio. Deep in that northeastern corner of the ground. Open side left they come. Through hands, Teitzel. They swing it across now again. Upton can't find support. She's run down. Last play, 10 out centre field. Can the Broncos score first here in the grand final? Brigginshaw's kick goes quite skew. Wide here for Maddock. The winger just feeds it back in play for Robinson. Brigginshaw still alive last play. And the veteran kicks again and it bounced over the dead ball line. So a restart from 20 and 7 tackles here for the Roosters. No score so far. Chooks nil, Broncos nil. 10 going first half. ABC Sport, touchline Bridget Murphy.
Well, that's set by the Broncos. What an attacking flair. Mele Hufanga, they're just one of the most dangerous players in the game, taking tackles as suggestions. She is absolutely fantastic. But I will say about the Sydney Roosters, they're doing a good job of reading where Tamika Upton is going to be, and they're doing a great job of shutting her down. She hasn't been able to get into any space.
Hufanga hasn't missed a game for the Broncos or New Zealand since she's come across from rugby.
Well, she made more tackle busts in that one run than many players make the whole season.
Kelleher links up with Baxter, her halves partner, and now she's put down on halfway. 20 in from the eastern side. 11 going first half here on ABC Sport, the NRLW Grand Final 2025. And now again, the run is with Tessa Bulle. Tackled now 35 out from that Broncos line. First receiver is Koenig. Shares it now Kelleher onto the fullback and Parker. Surges this time a little tentative, and she was nailed down there by Kerry Johnson on that right edge for the Roosters. Play it there for Wood, dummy half. Open side left she goes. Parker onto Reba Butler, her third grand final for a third different club. Reba Butler, she's tackled here 25 out. Play it now off to Kelly Davis. She darts from dummy half. A kick and a chase. Upton's there first though on the corner, and the Broncos get possession back. Gibbsy, 12 gone first half, still no score. Roosters Broncos in the grand final.
Yeah, very good positional play there by Tamika Upton, and you know how good Tamika is, but a lot of these girls will be getting tired. This has been end-to-end stuff, and it is impressive. The weather out there is Mele Hufanga again.
Hufanga again. This time she's stopped by Koenig and also Strange.
That's the idea with her. You've got to jump on her before she gets any momentum.
She is absolute power and also speed, Hufanga. She's in the right circumstance. circumstances. Played here by Lenarduzzi. Mentioned that quality for the Broncos off their bench. Lenarduzzi and Chazolka among them. And here's a run now from Robinson. Dally M Centre of the Year. She was runner up in the overall award behind her teammate Tamika Upton. Dummy half Brill goes to the right-hand side. Brigginshaw. And she kicks downfield. It's fielded down there by the fullback in Bridie Parker. In the open space, she trots into the contact there of Robinson, and she'll play it 5 short of the halfway. So Roosters positioned well here for the start of a new set. Comes to Mia Wood. Had a few errors last week, Mia Wood, in that prelim. She was 18th player last year. An opportunity here in the starting side for John Strange's Sydney Roosters. 35 out now with Prasad, and she's on tackle 3 now for the Roosters. Make it 4. Koenig on the inside to Lopper Mauer, and she is power. That rhymes, Gibbsy. She's toward the 10-metre line now. Takes on Upton. She's put down now by Lenarduzzi. Flat on away in front of the uprights here for the Roosters. Comes here to Koenig on the second last, and Koenig can't break one tackle. She is just 8 metres shy. Last play Roosters with Koenig. She'll play it now for Davis, dummy half. No, picked off here by the Broncos. That was phenomenal work down there by Lauren Dam, I think it was, to bring the footy back.
Well, that was Loppermauer's first run. Loppermauer with all the power, as you say, Brad. That was her first run. She just came on to replace Rima Butler. And just keep in mind that in the NRLW, they have tender changes.
Yes, NRLW grand final here. 13 going first half. Roosters 0, Broncos 0 here on ABC Sport. A massive grand final day here on the national broadcaster. Broncos on the attack. Played there by Robinson. Now it comes across that 50-metre line. Hafunga again. Kelleher makes the tackle on her. Stopped by Surgis, who rips her to the deck there. Surgis, despite being outpowered initially. And now Upton, she's just pure speed. Sends the pass wide here for Johnson on the wing. Over halfway. Straight away. Surgis. Wood comes in defensively. Ball comes loose. Strange regathers here. Jasmine Strange for the Roosters. And she's on halfway for the start of a new set now for the Roosters.
Well, Kerry Johnson, she's a fine player. That was a really good burst, but she must be colourblind because she threw it to the opposition. There was no blue player there. There was no white player there, should I say, the Broncos jersey anywhere. Fatigue is going to be a factor here, Brett, because this is a fast game.
On time already, Gibbsy, don't worry. 35 out here for the Roosters, taking that Broncos line. Lopper Mauer backs her way there. The footy's come loose there by Lenarduzzi. She forces the error. So the Roosters forced into the error there by Lenarduzzi. Great defence, Broncos. 15 gone first half. No score as yet. Roosters, Broncos, Bridget Murphy.
Well, as you both just said, you mentioned the conditions playing a part here. 100% they are. Some of those little mistakes. It's just the heat down here is intense. It's still about 30 degrees, and I'm watching Roosters front rower Jasmine Strange. She is just on her haunches getting attention for, well, getting the water bottle that we mentioned before we kicked off, that there is going to be allowances for extra trainers to be on the field to deliver that hydration to the girls.
What? That first mistake by Kerry Johnson there, that was her first error handling by Brisbane. Full half.
Broncos scrum 38. Here goes Hafunga. She'll play it 48 from her own line. Dummy half now Ferguson. That was the switcheroo there with Destiny Brill starting. Her second game back from a calf injury. Jada Ferguson's back out there now doing the relief work at dummy half. She has it now across to Brandon Clark. Played soccer as a junior, including in the US college system. They're inside Roosters territory. Good step there from Ferguson. Pass went wide here for Joseph, and now Joseph tackled now for the Broncos as Linda Sharp just resets the ruck. 40 out centre field. On this second last play now for the Broncos. Nice start there from Brigginshaw, and now a good chase and tackle from Baxter. On the one playing it down there is Teitzel. 20 out now. Through hands it comes centre field. Tamika Upton kicks now centre field. Fielded by Bridie Parker. Did well. Went straight to her. Good vision though from Bridie Parker, and she's forced back Lenarduzzi. 8 out from that northern line here. Players tangled up. It's going to be Penley Roosters.
That's a little bit of frustration there because they take the quick tap and they run it out because Tamika Upton, if Bridie Parker hadn't taken that ball, it would have fair Eckham almost landed in Hornsby.
We've seen
is north of Sydney.
I get. We've seen teams do the quick tap gives about trying to catch the defence napping and take advantage of the fatigue so far in this warm grand final day for Assad now. And a player tackle coming across Ferguson. Off the SMS, Dubbo Dragon says Roosters by 20 here. And the Storm by 25. Love you, Maury. Good on you, Dubbo Dragon. 0467920222. Here goes Macy Carlisle. Great story. She actually reached out to John Strange before the season and said, can I come and train with your team? And here she is making a name for herself in that Roosters side. Scored a try last week, Macy Carlisle. Now a run from Koenig, 30 out centre field. Comes to Kelleher. Last play kick. Up it goes into the set. Under it there, Maddock on the wing for the Broncos, and now they'll start their next set, 15 out, 10 in from the eastern side. Still no score here, Gibbsy. 17 gone, 18 left in the grand final. Roosters nil, Broncos nil.
Yeah, and that was a good take there by Hayley Maddock. This is a top quality game, and there's only been the one handling mistake from Brisbane. At this same stage last week, they had 50% completions. Tonight, they've got, or this afternoon, they've got about 96% against much better opposition. And
here's a flunger again. Gibbsy with a break over halfway. Stopped by Kelleher. Pinned one arm. Koenig comes across in defensive support.
They're going to have to put a net over her. She's unbelievable.
40 out from that northern line. Way it comes here now for the Broncos with a run from Suaso. Dahlia Rookie of the Year. And she's 25 out, 20 in from the western side. Halfway through this opening half of the grand final. Still no score. Roosters, Broncos on ABC Sport. Last play, Brigginshaw. Long crossfield bomb. Sits up down there for Parker. Oh, no, she's lost it. It's picked up by the winger and scored, Hayley Maddock. The Broncos do score the first. Parker heard the oncoming traffic, dropped the footy. The Broncos gather, and Maddock scores a try. 4-0 Brisbane, kick to come.
We'll have to have a look at this because now Romy Teitzel has cleaned up Bridie Parker, and Bridie Parker has got claret flowing out of her head. So she's probably, it's an accidental clash, but we'll see what happens. But again, the good field position was on the back of Mele Pufunga, who has been unstoppable. She's been breaking tackles for fun, but up went the bomb. Bridie Parker's under it. Oh, I think she's falling. I think that's play on.
It didn't look great for Bridie Parker, did it, Bridget? But I reckon that's first try for the Broncos.
Absolutely. I think it's, as Gibbsy said, looks like an honest mistake, but Bridie Parker not looking in good form at the moment. Quite a bit of blood on the face. Just trying to get a better look of where it's coming from. Looks like it might be a forehead. But yeah, she's still on her knees with the trainers. Oh, it looks not good at all.
And of course, she missed 10 minutes last week with the sin bin. Corbin Baxter played fullback. Of course, she can play fullback. She's probably most known for that role, Corbin Baxter. But yeah, it's going to maybe force a reshuffle at least briefly here for the Roosters.
Yeah, like it was a good kick, and you've got to give credit to Romy Teitzel because she put the pressure on it, and it was floating around, and she took the ball and she's hit. But they're going to review it. So dangerous contact. I could see the blood almost instantly flow from the head. Let's listen.
This is Chris Butler in the bunker. Oh, they're taping up the head of Bridie Parker.
Bridie initially knocks on there, then comes off the right hand of Romy, which is a double knock on. The first breach will be against the Roosters. We cleared any contact as it's a head clash as well. We have a decision.
Happy with that.
Yeah. So she's going to rejoin her teammates here, but it will be no try on a Broncos scrum, of course.
Yeah, we'll get another crack. So that's the way you saw it. It was just an accident, and they're worried about the jaw of Romy Teitzel, so the head clash there. So they cleared the contact, but it was knocked on, and now Belinda is ordering Bridie Parker off to have a head injury assessment.
Back to you, Bridge.
Yeah, no surprises that Bridie Parker's got to come off for a head injury assessment. She has been taped up by the trainers, quite a bit of strapping and tape on her forehead. Just watching her run past me now. She looks okay, but of course the absolute whack that contact was, she will need to go for a check. But yes, you're right, Gibbsy, as well. Romy Teitzel currently getting strapped on her chin at the moment and around her jaw. She's got a bit of blood on the jersey too. So some big contact for this big game.
Well, Romy got a bad cut last week as well, so why she's not undergoing head injury assessment as well? Because it was a head clash. I think that would be fair enough and understandable.
We're back to 0-0 here. 18 gone, 17 left, but a Broncos scrum feed 10 out from the Roosters line. Get to your text shortly. And around the grounds at some point. They come around open side left. Tanika up to an angled run, and she goes in to score. First pass back of the scrum. Plants it behind the post. It went from 4-0 Brisbane back to 0-0. Now it's 4-0 Brisbane again. And who else but Tamika Upton scores the first try of the grand final, her 20th try this year, Gibbsy.
And she can make the silliest of players or the best of players look silly. On this occasion, unfortunately, the enemy was Jocelyn Kelleher, because Jocelyn Kelleher's got her hands in her head, because her face, should I say, in her hands, because she is absolutely exasperated. Have a look at the step, the change of pace. She shows the ball. She's got them backpedaling. Kelleher's got her. No, she hasn't got her because she's too quick. She's dashed around her. That's the old in and away. Tamika Upton is absolutely the best at that.
Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
You just can't give even a centimetre of dangerous space to Tamika Upton, because she will expose it and she will score tries, and we saw exactly that in that play. Very much just stock standard Tamika Upton way of playing football. We did just hear, though, down here on the touchline that it is a Category 2 head knock to Bridie Parker, so she's undergoing that assessment. We'll see what happens from there.
We'll see Teitzel here. Slight kick, 12 out, left-hand side to make it 6-0. Of course, Teitzel recently passed the 100-point milestone, first player ever in the season. She adds 2 more points here for the Brisbane Broncos. It's 6-0, Broncos over the Roosters. Teitzel 1 from 1 here on grand final day. Tamika Upton, the first try scorer. 0467920222. Hi, guys. 2 old farts at the end of the wharf. That's Drew and Sean in Eden, all ready for a great women's grand final with a great call. Sunshine fishing and a grand final. Excellent. Enjoy your day there, Drew and Sean in Eden. And thank you, Filthy Phil, for your kind words about our commentary across the year. Says, kudos to I'll buy you a sports drink or pickle juice. West Tigers in 2026. Mad West Tigers being Filthy Phil, so there you go. We'll never quite know if it's your year next year. And we still have no idea, Gibbsy, who wins this grand final. The Broncos have scored first. It's been lost from the kickoff by, is that Robinson out there, is it? Or is it,
Yeah, it was Robinson.
Yeah, the error.
It was a good kickoff, though. It put her under pressure. And they say the set after points is the most important. Well, that was a shocker. She went to get it with a foot. She was playing soccer one moment. Then she was playing handball. Unfortunately, she got both pitched up and the ball's been knocked on.
Now, if the Roosters can score here, that proves they are threats. To overcome that very, very quick lead. It's only a very fresh lead so far here for the Broncos. Scrum feed, 20 out, 20 in. Way they go through Shorten Burton. She was ankle tap and stopped 5 shy of that southern line here on play 2. Roosters, Kelly goes off to Nazio. She steamrolls the defence, but she's held up metre shy here for the Roosters. 14:50 left, first half of the grand final. From dummy half, Kelly goes back here again, and now Macy Carlisle, and in the 2-player tackle, she was met by Leonard Ducey, and also in there, Suaso comes open side right now for the Chooks. Kelleher to Jasmine Strange, tackled by Broughton and Hufanga. International talent there for the Broncos. Played now, Burton dummy half for the Roosters. Corbin Baxter angled run, she's dragged down from behind. Last play, Roosters on the right edge this time. Dummy half, Surgis across to Burton. Now the outside of the boot kick from Kelleher. Tricky bounce there for Brigginshaw, but she retrieves it, and they do withstand that nice attacking thrust from the Roosters. It remains Broncos 6, Roosters nil. Gibbsy, 14 left, first half of the grand final.
Yeah, good positional play there, in particular by Brigginshaw, but Isabel Keller's got to get more involved. It was a scrum play. Burton almost got through Shorten Burton, but Isabel Kelly, she's got to get in there and get some ball. They're keeping it away from her at the moment.
To Bridget Murphy very shortly here at dummy half. Ferguson for the Broncos, who send it wide, and now a little jinking run there from the Rookie of the Year, Suaso. Go quickly here again from dummy half. 35 out centre field as Burton makes the tackle there on Ferguson. Played back to Suaso. Broughton, end of the set. Kick goes up in the air. Hang there for a while for the de facto fullback Corbin Baxter while Parker gets assessed for HIA. And Baxter is claimed now. 9 short of the halfway. Roosters back on the attack. They trail 6-0 at the hands of the Broncos here on ABC Sport, the NRLW Grand Final. Isabel Kelly taken down low there by Hufanga. It's just fast, end-to-end, intense stuff here in the Grand Final. And now Surgis can't offload here for the Roosters. She's 30 away, 20 in. Western touchline here at Stadium Australia. Burton, flat ball from dummy half finds Koenig. Now back for Carlisle. Collected there by opposite number Leonard Ducey, and she'll play at 30 out centre field now for the Roosters. Burton across wide here. Kelleher, Narcio. Is there a gap out there? She's too big for Brigginshaw, but she stands in the tackle of Teitzel. She'll play it now, 15 out. Open inside it comes to Koenig. She kicks, but it deflects, and then fielded by Tamika Upton. The Broncos go back on the attack. Meter out from their own line. 6-0 is their lead. 12 left first half. Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Well, building on something that John said in the last set, I'd like to see, yes, some more involvement from some of their experienced players in the Roosters, Isabel Kelly and Jess Sturgis in particular, but also Olivia Koenig. We haven't seen her with much ball, taking those runs directly into the line through the middle. So I think if she gets more involved and tests this endurance of the Broncos, that we could have some tries for the Tricolours.
Angled run here from Julia Robinson, 35 out from that southern line. Play to Ferguson, Leonard Ducey, up that right edge she goes. Tackled this time by Koenig and also Narcio. The Roosters under the pump here, only trail 6-0, early stages. Wobbly ball off the boot of Broughton. Back with the flight, Mia Wood did well in the end to retrieve it, and now she's got nowhere to go. Sends it across here to Corbin Baxter. Shows a clean pair of heels there away from Brigginshaw, and she is tackled eventually on that right edge by Julia Robinson. Now goes for Sard. Speaking of tattooed outside backs, and she'll play it 9 short of the halfway here for the Roosters. They trail 6-0. 11 left first half here on ABC Sport. You're with Brett Sprigg, John Gibbs and Bridget Murphy. Here's a run from Isabel Kelly, who is LEM Captain of the Year for the Roosters. 40 out now, 20 in from that far side. Back to Macy Carlisle. Centre field run now where she gains 10. This will be second last now for the Roosters. Burton links up with Koenig. She directs traffic. Nowhere to go. Brought down now by Achille Joseph, a former teammate. 25 out last play, Roosters. Broncos lead 6-0 here in the grand final 2025. Now the kick from Kelleher. Dribbles down towards the corner. It's a task now. Oh, for Kerry Johnson. So just dived in that football. I don't fancy there was a grounding. There was a bounce. So it will just be a line dropout here for the Broncos. Repeat set, Roosters. Bronx lead 6-0. 10.5 left. John Gibbs in the first half.
Yeah, that was a good kick there by Jocelyn Kelleher. Good to see her mix things up. And just previous to that, there had been a strong run by Isabel Kelly, the skipper, and she made the break on the right side. It was a good run on the right side. So she's a left side player. She's getting there looking for the ball. Let's go, Broughton with the line dropping.
It's a true dropout here as well. Goes 35 on the fly. On the bounce now for Carlisle. She gathers and now brings it back inside that Broncos red zone. Can the Roosters set something up from here? Dummy half Burton. On now to Butler in her third grand final for a third different club. 9 away from the post southern end. Burton dummy half to Koenig. Can she run the footy here? She takes on 2 defenders. The ball's still with her, is it? Yes. Play 3. Make it 4 now for the Roosters. Meter out from the Broncos line. Burton swinging across here. Left-hand side. Davis. Oh, now Maddock took out Kelly. Fassad has the ball now for the Roosters. This will be second last coming up now for the Chooks, who trail 6-0 to the hands of the Broncos. Davis dummy half. Kelly to Narcio in that corner, and she's forced out into touch. Which side of the corner post? She was in the field of play offense. He gives you in that far corner.
Yep.
So it will be the Broncos ball. They lead 6-0. 9.5 left in this first half. Touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Well, that was just the opportunity that the Roosters had on a silver platter almost, and they just fumbled. A good effort, though, to try and take the ball right out to the edge to try and get over. But just, got to keep those 2 hands on that ball and get it over the try line to get the points that you need.
It's a classic footy scoreline. Gives you 6-0. It doesn't sound like much, but it feels like everything.
No, and look, they're still completing very highly both sides. It's a top quality game, and Melly Hufunga has been the outstanding player in the first half. She's breaking so many tackles, but kicking is going to be very important, particularly players tied.
Play 2 for the Broncos. It is here with Brenna Clark, ex-Warrior and Titan, Kiwi International. Plays to the Kiwi Ferns. Here goes Ferguson. Links up out wide, and now it's with that rookie in Suaso. Rugby union prodigy before she came to league. And now good post-contact game there from the number 17. 40 out centre field. This is only, it's very through the count here for the Broncos, so it's play 4. Broughton back to Upton, and now back to Ferguson. On in turn now to Brenna Clark, and she offloads to a running kick from Ferguson. She's chasing as well. Baxter fields the ball expertly, takes on Ferguson, gets rid of her, but she's put down there by the welcome committee of Brenna Clark and Lauren Dam. So the Roosters on the attack, on tackle 2. Broncos lead 6-0 here in the NRLW Grand Final, 7:50 left. So, what do the Roosters do here? Comes to Jess Surgis, and she's putting her back, 35 out from her own line. Northern End, she's lost the ball. Roosters error.
Good pressure from the Broncos, really good pressure, and it was a good kick and chase. Corbin Baxter's doing a good job filling in for Bridie Parker. We'll get news about her head injury assessment shortly. I expect that Bridie will be coming back, but nevertheless, it was Jess Surgis who, a little bit of frustration there, fatigue. She's lost the ball, and the Broncos, 7 minutes before the break, get a golden opportunity.
Anything yet from down there, Bridget Murphy?
You guys have read our minds. We've just had word that Bridie Parker has cleared her head injury assessment. She's still got about 4 minutes to go until she can return for the Roosters.
Broncos scrum 30 out. Here they go through. Gal Broughton makes a good burst here, and she's tackled 25 out, 20 or so in from the eastern side. Played to Ferguson dummy half, and now a strong run from Keely Joseph against her former side. As I mentioned, won a comp with the Roosters previously. She'll play it 15 out from that northern line. Ferguson here on tackle 3. Comes to Brigginshaw, and now again Upton. Back here now from Maddock on the wing. And strong defence there from the Roosters skipper Isabel Kelly. 12 out, right-hand side of the post. Broncos on the attack with a 6-0 lead. Brigginshaw links up Su'a Arso with a white ribbon in her hair. And she's dragged down there by Shorten Burton and also Isabel Kelly. 9 away now from that northern line. The Roosters are so desperately defending. Messi played the ball. It comes wide here, though, for the Broncos. And again, this time with Lauren Dam. She's wrapped up. Last play. 5 away from the uprights. Dead centre. Ferguson from dummy half. Goes herself. Saw the gap and she burrows through. Is there a grounding? I fancy there is. And the Broncos score their second try. This time, Jada Ferguson to make it 10-0. Kick to come, Broncos, the NRLW Grand Final. John Gibbs.
She's a very experienced player, Jada Ferguson. She realised that there was some fatigue in the Roosters outfit. They'd had plenty of opportunity. They'd had lots of ball. She darted from dummy half. Destiny Brill, keeping in mind, had started the game. Jada came on as a replacement. She put her head down. There were a couple of players there. Rima Butler was one of those who tried to stop her, but she burrowed like a wombat, and somehow she was able to kick the ball up, get the ball down fair and square, right under the eyes of Belinda Sharp, who was well positioned. So that's a great place to score as well, because I'll take it 12-0 in a moment.
Similar kick to her Teitzel was a short time ago to make it 6-0. So she's 1 from 1. She'll be 2 from 2 shortly, you would think. By the way, a few of you asked about Morey's tip for the grand final. He's tipping the Broncos by 6 in the NRL grand final. Andrew Moore. Unfortunately not with us here today, but listening from home, and he'll be back before you know it, Gibbsy. He's raring to go for the summer and definitely next footy season. Here they go. Teitzel with the kick. She's 2 from 2. So 12-0 is the Broncos lead here in the 2025 NRLW Grand Final. Bridget Murphy, touchline.
Well, I wonder if Queenslander heat comes into this, because the Queensland girls are just doing better with their endurance out there. They're locked and loaded and ready to go. And the Sydney siders, they're struggling at points. Jess Surgis is still trying to catch her breath after that set. So is it that northern heat that's kind of, benefiting the girls down here?
And can I throw in another red herring? They've had another hour's sleep. Another habit. They were down here anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, okay. 4:50 left in this first half. You're with John Gibbs alongside Bridget Murphy and myself, Brett Sprigg here. The NRLW, the side of 2025 for the Roosters kick off again with some work to do. 12-0 is that lead in the Broncos' favour. Tamika Upton chasing her 5th premiership win. Feeds the ball back here for a hit up, and it is in the hands out there of Suaso. In fact, it may even be Nuasala who's out there for the Broncos. So away they go up over the 30-metre line now for the Brisbane Broncos. In the hands of Brenna Clark. Still just the one try this year, the front rower. Play it now to the burst of Ferguson. Shares it across now for Keely Joseph. And she's tackled 6 short of the halfway here for the Brisbane Broncos. They control the game. The shade going longer across that eastern side of the ground. Koenig just absolutely nails the ball carry there in Ferguson. Platt now 40 out from that Roosters line. Upton's involved. Comes across now again on this last play coming up as it is rolled back by Browner Clark. Ferguson goes short side left. Kick from Broughton up in the air. Spins that through the air now for Baxter, who launches and brings it down. 10 out and 20 in from the western side. So 3:40 left in this first half. Broncos 12, Roosters 0 in this NRL Women's Grand Final. Now a big tackle down there on the ball carrier Edmia Wood from Browner Clark. Roosters back on the advance. Can they find some points? Gibbsy in this first half. Here's Bill Kelly.
Well, they're going to have to start shifting the ball, Brett, because they're just too conservative. Up the middle, has a strong run.
Surgis. She's 40 out centre field. They've made more errors, the Roosters. They've not scored any points as yet. Kick from inside 40 from Kelleher. And this will not quite have the angle there as it arrives on the full onto the chest of Tamika Upton, the zippy fullback. And now two-time Dally M Player of the Year is brought down 5 short of the halfway. 12 in eastern side. 2:50 left here in this NRLW decider of 2025. It's 12-0 the Broncos lead here of the Roosters. And the Broncos have possession, this time through Julia Robinson. 5 inside Roosters territory. Ferguson catch and no release here as she's dragged down by Reema Butler and also in there Jasmine Strange. The ball's come loose and that was deemed to have been lost by the Brisbane Broncos. So a Brisbane error. Opportunity here for the Roosters. 40 out from their own line, but they trail 12-0, John Gibbs.
Yeah, well, you know, it's handy that they'll only go to the break. You would think 12-0 down because they're slow to pack this scrum. They should have the last set. They might get one more chance, the Broncos, but they can't allow any more points. Just talking about Tamika Upton, she is so classy. She's got 9 finals tries, which is over double. Olivia Higgins and Jamie Chapman have both got 4, so she's over double the closest in finals.
Here's a run now from Baxter. We'll get to Bridget Murphy very shortly. Baxter short of the halfway. Play it now to Parker, who's back out there. And now Butler is steamrolling away into the defence there. And it takes 3 Broncos to stop her. 5 inside that southern half of the Stadium of Australia. From dummy half, Davis goes with Koenig. And now Kelleher. Narcio is collared down there as well. 30 out from that Broncos line. Comes back to Koenig. Straightens her run there into Brandon Clark. 25 out centre field. Davis goes to her right now for Kelleher. No look pass, no look receive there from Parker as well. Down to you, Bridget Murphy.
Yes, Bridie Parker back out on the field. Musselbrook Ram's favourite daughter for the Sydney Roosters. She looks rested and ready to go. Unfortunately, fumbled that opportunity there, but that will look like it'll free Corbin Baxter to move back in the halves, but it does look like she's staying out the back.
Yeah, it seems that way for now, doesn't it? She's just sitting up there behind that line, and now an error has been made for the Broncos.
So now it's Jocelyn Kelleher.
Sorry, Kelleher lost the ball there.
One-on-one strip of Miller, who's flung her, and in stripping her, she's knocked it on. So the Broncos will get the ball back.
Scrum feed here for the Broncos. 30 out, 20 in from the western side. Never heard favourite daughter before, referring to a club favourite. Like, that makes sense. Favourite son, favourite daughter. Makes sense, Bridge, I suppose.
She definitely is.
Yes, there we go.
She's among their favourite ever.
Musselbrook Rams, absolutely. Here they go. The Brisbane Broncos, right-hand side of the scrum with this another strong run from Lauren Dam out there. She'll play it 40 out from that southern line. Up inside it comes now for the Broncos. Now it's with Browner Clark, and she's 40 out, 20 in from the western side. They lead 12-0 the Broncos. 18 seconds left first half. Can they find some more points yet? Brigginshaw wide to Upton, wrapped up by Bridie Parker. Fullback on fullback as the seconds tick down here. 8 seconds. Play for Brisbane. Short side right they go. Heaped back there is Rummy Teitzel, and that will be just about in here. In fact, it will be half-time of this 8th NRLW Grand Final, in which the Broncos 12, at least for now, placing some doubt on the Roosters' undefeated run. They may lose the biggest one of all. It's 12-0 the Broncos, 2 tries to 0. They were scored through Tamika Upton and Jada Ferguson, and Rummy Teitzel is 2 from 2 in that first half as well. Gives you the Broncos had 52% possession, and the completions 78%. The Broncos this week it's the Roosters' turn, only 65%. So 7 errors in attack there for John Strange's Roosters. 5 line breaks to 2 the Broncos, and the penalty count at the halftime break is 3-1 the Roosters.
Yeah, 5 line breaks to 2, so they can probably count themselves lucky to only be down by 12 points to 0. They've been the better side. I think 12 points to 0 is probably a true reflection of what's happened in that first half. Very good start to the Broncos. The Roosters started the game well. The Broncos absorbed the pressure, got their opportunity, almost a try scored after Bridie Parker was cleaned up by Romy Teitzel. They both sustained head knocks. Bridie had a head injury assessment which he passed, but after that it was deemed that there was a knock on and by Romy, and as a result they got the scrum feed in front of the scrum, just a beautiful in and away, and Jocelyn Kelleher was left clutching at thin air as she was burnt by Tamika Upton. That was the first try, and then the second try was fatigue. Jada Ferguson summing it up and burrowing down for a try. 12-0, good reflection of the game. I think the Roosters in the second half have got to stop being so conservative, and they've got to shift the ball more.
I'm being reminded, of course, that Tamika Upton, who scored the first try in this grand final, as well as being a 2-time Dally M Player of the Year and 2-time Karen Murphy medalist on this day, is also a 2-time Ruan Sims medalist at our ABC honour. Bridget Murphy, your thoughts on the opening 35 minutes on the sideline?
Well, the Roosters just need to take this half-time break to just have exactly that, a break, because the conditions are still just, so tough down here. It's still about 30 degrees. There's not much wind at all cooling things off. So the Roosters girls, you can see that they are being impacted more with their endurance. The Broncos girls, especially their outside backs, just way more powerful in that space. And players like Mele Fukufonga, what a first half. She has just been absolutely shrugging off the Roosters' defence. So if she can keep that up and get the ball also around the rest of the backline pack, I think the Broncos are going to be hard to shut down.
Thanks, Bridge. More for you in the second half coming up very shortly in this NRLW Grand Final. 0467920222. Froggy in Thurul says, I recall hearing, was it the Roosters captain saying how they were going to win the grand final before they had even beaten the Sharks? They got a scare last week. Perhaps the Sharks have shown the Broncos how to beat the Roosters. Are the Roosters down in confidence? Did the Sharks take the wind out of the Roosters' sail last week? Well, it was a tight game, 17-16, with the Jocelyn Kelleher field goal, the decisive moment, but it's a fair point, Froggy. Tim in Lismore says, afternoon legends, get well soon, Maury. Question, why on earth is the grand final on the NRL website listed as Storm v Broncos when anyone with half a brain knows it's Broncos v Storm? No, I think with the top-ranked team, it would be Storm v Broncos. That's the correct listing, I imagine, Tim. They were the higher place finisher.
Absolutely. The Melbourne Storm is, they'll get the home dressing room.
But you know what's disappointing? No painted in goals like we used to have. It's been many years of not having that. It doesn't feel like, well, it does feel like grand final day, but that's just one little detail missing.
The grass looks nice.
Listening by the Condamine River while camping at Victoria Hill in Queensland. Thanks to all the team for a great year. Now for the Broncos to claim a double to make it an even greater year, says JC Bronco, Redbank Plains. Thank you for your text. Okay, around the grounds earlier, the Warriors 50 beat the Burleigh Bears 20 in the state championship, with Tanner Boyd being best of field there. In other things around the place, AFLW three-quarter time. In fact, last quarter, Carlton 46 leads Geelong 36. In the Sheffield Shield, Queensland 1-for-156, trailing Tasmania by 223 runs on day 2 there. Day 2 in Adelaide, Victoria 2-for-110, trailing SA by 240 runs in that game. So it's quite late on day 2 there as well. And in Perth, where of course there is now a 3-hour time difference, WA none for 2 in reply to New South Wales, all out 170. So that's a deficit there of 168 on day 2 of that Sheffield Shield match, the opening round of our 4-day domestic competitions. It's cricket season now, kind of. It intersperses now, Gibbsy, and it is our last big day of club footy. There's still pack champs. There's still the kangaroo tests overseas still to come as well. Here, though, it's the Broncos 12, the Roosters 0 in the NRLW Grand Final. Right now, time for ABC News.
ABC ABC News, I'm Tanmaya Navada. There are mixed feelings on the ground in Gaza about the latest peace initiative from the United States. Talks on the plan will get underway in Egypt tomorrow, with Hamas saying it's willing to release the remaining hostages, while Israel has agreed to an initial line of troop withdrawal in Gaza. But a UNICEF spokesperson on Gaza, James Elder, says people there are sceptical about a deal.
They're justifiably, demonstrably cynical. Having said that, we're not seeing a concrete change on the ground. I was just in a hospital and looking again at a little 10-year-old girl with horrific wounds of shrapnel in her face, and next to her little boy in a bed who will almost certainly not last 24 hours. They were in a water queue when there was an airstrike, 10 hours after these statements were made to stop the bombing.
At home, the federal Greens leader says she's hopeful of an imminent end to war and suffering in Gaza. Larissa Waters says Palestinians should determine their future, not the US president.
Self-determination for Palestinians has to be a part of a lasting and just peace. Having foreign billionaires or folk like Tony Blair or Donald Trump in charge is frankly very dubious.
US President Donald Trump has meanwhile authorised the deployment of 300 National Guard troops to Chicago to protect federal offices and assets. It comes after the White House says it'll appeal against a federal judge temporarily blocking the deployment of troops to the northwestern city of Portland, as Larry Buttrose reports.
Mr Trump had described Portland as war-ravaged, but District Judge Karen Immergut, who he appointed during his first presidential term, says there's no evidence recent protests have risen to the level of a rebellion. She's described Mr Trump's determination as simply untethered to the facts. The Oregon State Attorney General's office has said protests in Portland have been small and sedate, resulting in only 25 arrests in mid-June and none since. Mr Trump wants to deploy hundreds of National Guard troops onto the streets of Portland.
Police have charged the ex-partner of Independent MP Mark Latham with sharing intimate images without consent. Natalie Matthews was arrested after getting off a flight from Dubai at Sydney Airport. She's been charged with various offences, including accessing or modifying restricted data held in a computer and intentionally recording and distributing intimate images without consent. The 38-year-old has been involved in an ongoing apprehended violence order with the former One Nation politician after a break up last year. She's been refused bail and will front court tomorrow. WA police have completed a statewide operation targeting sovereign citizens who own guns. Police attended 70 properties last week, removing 135 firearms and cancelling or suspending 44 licences. Police Commissioner Cole Blanche says the operation aimed to keep the community and police officers safe from non-law-abiding citizens.
It is my duty to establish those who are a fit and proper person to hold firearms. If you have made it very clear that you do not abide by the laws, then there is no way that you can be a fit and proper person to hold a firearm in Western Australia.
Also making news today, the Victorian government says it's working to finalise new laws to help protect retail workers from violent customers. The Australian Retailers Association has been calling for the nationwide introduction of workplace protection orders to stop repeat offenders from returning to a store following a steep rise in assaults on staff. Premier Jacinta Allen says the government has been meeting with police and the retail sector.
We have been continuing to look at giving police more powers. The work on the retail worker protection legislation is being progressed and it will be introduced into Parliament in the coming weeks.
And you're up to date with the latest from ABC News this Sunday evening. For more news at any time, you can download the ABC Listen app or head to the ABC Listen website.
Hi ABC listeners, it's Jonathan Agnew.
And Alison Mitchell here.
The Ashes are coming.
And so are we.
We're looking forward to hitting Aussie shores to bring you the summer of cricket with ABC Sport. Catch every ball of the Ashes on the ABC Listen app.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 NRLW Grand Final.
Here they go. Kick off by Brown and Clark. And the Roosters to have first use from that northern half of the Stadium Australia. The Roosters and Broncos have not yet scored. There is Hufanga. She is a presence. She shrugs away one tackler. Still going. Steamroll surges. Gets towards halfway. Has Parker to beat. Does so. Still going. Coming across. Narcio makes the tackle. That run from Mele Hufanga. Wow. Unbelievable. Last play, Brigginshaw. Long crossfield bomb. Sits up down there for Parker. Oh, no. She's lost it. It's picked up by the winger.
They're going to review it. So dangerous contact.
Right, initially knocks on there, then comes off the right hand of Romy, which is a double knock on. We have a decision.
So there'll be no try on a Broncos scrum, of course.
Yeah, we get another crack.
Broncos scrum feed, 10 out from the Roosters line. They come around open side left. Tanika up to an angled run, and she goes in to score. First pass back of the scrum, plants it behind the post. It went from 4-0 Brisbane back to 0-0. Now it's 4-0 Brisbane again. And who else but Tanika Upton scores the first try of the grand final. She's wrapped up. Last play, 5 away from the uprights, dead centre. Ferguson from dummy half goes herself, saw the gap and she burrows through. Is there a grounding? I fancy there is. And the Broncos score their second try. This time, Jaden Ferguson.
ABC Sports coverage of the 2025 NRLW Grand Final. The Sydney Roosters versus the Brisbane Broncos.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Well, it was the Roosters 12-0 as far as their season win-loss is concerned. Now it's the Broncos 12-0 in this game of footy, the NRLW Grand Final of 2025. You're with Brett Sprigg alongside John Gibbs and Bridget Murphy. The team's not too far away here. Gibbsy will have the second half. And, of course, after that, the presentation to present the 8th NRLW Premiership. We'll also have the build-up from them with Quentin Hull, you'll be with Luke Lewis. You'll have some special guests, Billy Walters from the Broncos camp, Frank Panisi, of course, the Melbourne Storm footy manager, and all the build-up there of that grand final, the men's grand final, which, of course, features Teddy Swims in the pre-game.
He's down there gargling at the moment.
He's there. Conrad Sewell does the anthem, and, of course, the Melbourne Storm and Brisbane Broncos contest the 2025 NRL Grand Final.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. But we've got the second half here yet to go. 12-0 is still on the balance. That's a handy lead, but we've seen momentum changes. Well, we saw this game last year, Brett, that you and I did. What was 28-0 at half-time? The Roosters leading. So that's been a 40-point turnaround in grand finals from one year to the next at half-time. We know that the Sharks soared back and ultimately the Roosters prevailed. Yeah. I do think it's important that they score next though, because 18-0 might be a bridge too far. 12-6, game on.
Prediction, next try wins the grand final. There we go. Yeah. Anyway,
I can live with
we just saw John Strange wander past us, so we'll see if we can get some room from the some word from the sheds here with Bridge very shortly. The Broncos are out there. The Roosters make their way out there here at Stadium Australia, where the crowd is building. It's about 30,000 here at the moment. We're seeing more and more of those blue seats fill up with bodies, and it'll be heaving in a few hours' time. In fact, it'll be underway in a few hours' time, but in an hour or so, we'll have the hour and a half retiring players tribute, which is always fantastic. The likes of Kieran Foran, Chad Townsend, Mark Nichols, one of the Bromwiches, remind me. Some big names there anyway in this year's retiring class. So Christian Welch, down to Bridget Murphy very, very shortly. The Roosters will kick off here in their second half, Gibbsy. Are you still tipping the Broncos from here?
Yeah, well, I tipped them. I thought they were...
I need to see a Roosters try. If they score first, they win the GF. We'll see how we go. Second half underway. Kicked off by Jocelyn Kelleher. Broncos to have first use this time. Upton lets it bounce away here for Gail Broughton. Fed back now to Brandon Clark, and she makes the first hit up of this second half of the NRLW Premiership decider. 15 out, 20 in from the eastern side here at an increasingly building atmospheric Stadium Australia at Sydney Olympic Park. Here is now Soaso. Comes open side right here for the Brisbane Broncos. Narcio makes the tackle there on the Killy Joseph, and now she'll play it 25 out centre field. Dummy half Ferguson, one of their two try scorers in that first half, along with Tanika Upton. Broncos on the attack. On play 4, 35 out from their own line. Ferguson, wide here. Set a task there for Brigginshaw. Inside ball now for Teitzel, and she offloads back to Brigginshaw. Still alive here. Broughton slips away and is tackled by Jasmine Strange. And the veteran international will play it now a few short of the halfway line for the Brisbane Broncos. Ferguson, open side right now for Brigginshaw. Up goes the last play kick. 20 out from the Roosters line. It is taken down there by Baxter. So she's still playing fullback for now, despite Brodie Parker returning with that HIA in the first half. Now for Sun on the wing. It's only her second carry of the game, I reckon. Second or third carry. Dragged back there by Julia Robinson. And she'll play it 40 outs in the field now for the Chooks. They trail 12-0. The Broncos do lead here. And the Roosters are on the attack now with Jess Surgis. Takes 3 Broncos to stop her, and now the footy's been lost. Her second error of this grand final. Let's go back to the touchline, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, notes from the Sheds room half-time. Camp Broncos. We'll just listen to Belinda Sharp here before I get into it.
Nicely done.
On-field decision is a knock-on. They're claiming it was stripped.
So we're here from Chris Butler in the bunker. Let me guess, John Strange was saying, hold the footy and don't drop it. We'll get to that in a second.
See at this point here, Keely's locked on the ball, affecting a tackle.
Loose chest.
Yeah.
Releases the ball. There's no stripping action from Keely. The captain's challenge is unsuccessful.
On-field call will stand. Bridge, back to you.
Yeah, so from Camp Broncos, they're very happy with that first half, as you can imagine. Happy with the defence in particular. They've said stick to the grind and be patient, because the next 15 minutes will be crucial. And pretty simple notes from Roosters coach John Strange. He wants his girls to settle, to stick to the plan they set before this match, and to reset and basically treat this second half like a brand new game of footy.
Yeah, I suppose you have to, don't you, Gibbsy? Because
and hang on to the ball, because the Surgeons is giving it straight back to
Here goes Hufanga, and so just makes the tackle on Melee Hufanga. Stop 35 out, 20 in from the eastern side. So the Broncos, if they score again here, the Roosters, you'd think it's almost a bridge too far. And here they go again now with Lauren Dam. Or a Dam too far. 30 out centre field now from that southern line.
Little burst.
Ferguson. Here they go for Keely Joseph. And she again makes a good post-contact run there at the back of the Carlisle and Butler tackles. 17 out centre field. Ferguson spots up Broughton to the left-hand side. They go Upton. Wrapped up by Surgis. And this will be play 4. Second last coming up here for the Sydney Roosters, for the Brisbane Broncos. Now Lauren Dam jinks away here, and she stands in a 3-player tackle. Carlisle was in there first, as well as Koenig. 5 out left-hand side of the post. Ferguson to so hits the ball at speed, forced back by 3 Roosters defenders. Changeover, either out from that southern line, and it remains the Broncos 12, the Roosters 0. 3 played, second half, John Gibbs.
Well, that was a big tackle by Reema Butler on a charging Shalem Soaso, and she's powerful. The rookie of the year. That was almost a try for her. But look, the Brisbane Broncos controlling things beautifully. Jessica Surgis there compounded her error by losing the captain's challenge.
Here's Narcia up that left edge here, the back rower, and she stands in the tackle of Teitzel, and she'll play it now 40 out. Comes open side right. Davis off here to Carlisle, set upon straight away by strong defence from Brianna Clark. And will play it there for the Roosters, Carlisle. Waste no time. Koenig to Kelleher. Jasmine Strange receives it over halfway. She goes, but Dam and Ferguson get her. Last play Roosters. 5 inside Broncos territory. 4 minutes played, second half here on ABC Sport. Kick goes up by Kelleher into the set. It'll arrive now on the drop for Tamika Upton, and she will share it now with the winger Maddock for the disallowed try in that first half. She's claimed 25 out, 20 in from the western side here at Stadium Australia. Can they get something going here, the Broncos, through Robinson? No, she stopped 30 out now, so Kelly got her. So too Carlisle. Friggin' short dummy half. Spots up Kerry Johnson, rugby convert, first year of league. Scored 10 tries this year, scored 2 last week in the prelim against the Newcastle Knights. Ferguson to Melee Hufanga. Again, makes light work of one tackler there, and she's stopped by Narcio and Koenig on the halfway strike. A bit of post-contact push there from Hufanga. 40 outs in the field. Ferguson finds Brigginshaw. The halfback runs the ball, and now Teitzel is tackled now. 30 out, 20 in from the western side. This will be last play Broncos. Broughton shapes to kick. He's back on the inside now of Butler. They played in the grand final together, I think. Parramatta goes high in the air and now taken down there by Corbin Baxter, who's fullback for the Sydney Roosters. Played 10 out from their own line. Can they find a way back into the game here? They trail 12-0 in this NRLW grand final. You're with Brett Sprigg, John Gibbs, Bridget Murphy. Yes, Gibbsy.
They're trying hard, but they're just coming one-out stuff, and that's not going to get it done. Taryn Aiken in these situations being really mixed because she has creativity.
6 minutes played, second half here on ABC Sport. Where they come, Jess Surgis. Strong run there. She was Tukiva Johnson and Hufunga. Over halfway goes Surgis. She steps on the fullback. Upton. She's stopped by Tanika Upton. 30 out though. A good run from Surgis. Dummy half. Parker swings it across now. Jasmine Strange. Plenty of space open side left. Right across to Kelly. Can the Roosters engineer something here? She steps on Brigginshaw. Ball came loose for Fasada. It was forward. It was lost. Lost by Kelly. And she's protesting there with the ref and the touchy.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That was knocked down, but they have not got their captain.
No, they burned it a short time ago.
Frivolous, and that could be absolutely imperative. That was knocked down by the Broncos.
And it was right in front of you, Bridget Murphy.
Yeah, 100%. It's very unfortunate for the Roosters that they wasted that captain's challenge before. They will be fuming at that because it was the first real bit of momentum that they had grabbed. Right before that, the ball came crossfield after that Jess Surgis run. And it looked like it was signed, sealed and delivered. So unfortunate for the Roosters.
That's where it's important not to lose your challenges or be frivolous. It's key. The whole game could depend on it.
Broncos still lead 12-0 here. 7 going second half. ABC Sport, the NRLW Grand Final of 2025. The Broncos have the footy here with their front row, Brianna Clark. And she'll play at 30 outs in the field. Back on the inside they come. So they get the footy back off the back of the Isabel Kelly, well, error as it was called, deemed not to have been if there was a challenge, but they burnt the challenge. So here they go again. Clark's been busy in this second half. In fact, in this game so far, John Gibbs just plays it short of the halfway. Ferguson finds Broughton. Delayed pass here. Upton. Hufunga was wrong side here of Mia Wood. Wood eventually gets her. 35 out here. That was dicey there for the Roosters defence. Last play, kick running ball from Brigginshaw. Goes down to Corbin Baxter. Still a metre inside the field of play, so she runs the footy back into that defensive line. Put down there by Suaso. She'll play at 20 out from that southern line here for the Sydney Roosters. The Broncos lead though 12-0. The Roosters undefeated. Raiders Premiers is on the line here for Assad. We'll play it now to Kelly. Parker is playing more through centre field now. Shares it with Macy Carlisle, and she's tacked the 35 out. Gilly Davis on here to Kelleher. Kicks from behind the 40-metre line here. It'll bounce down, but Upton's chasing it. Executed a nice 40-30 last week, Jocelyn Kelleher, and here they go. The Broncos with Tamika Upton. Dragged back now by Ali Inacio, and it'll be 25 out where the Broncos start their new set. They lead 12-0 here. 9 going second half in this NRL Women's Grand Final. Bridget Murphy on the touchline.
Well, things are a lot more comfortable down here in terms of conditions in this second half, Spriggy. It's still clocking at about 30 degrees, but with the shade over the field, my temperature app says that it feels about 27 or so. So a little bit easier to manage for both of these teams on the pitch today.
Late in the count now for the Brisbane Broncos. Centre field run from Kelly Joseph. 5 inside Roosters territory. Play it now for Jada Ferguson, dummy half. Looks left but goes right. That dummy's the pass right too. Now to Brigginshaw. Back to Lenarduzzi. Still some fresh legs on the bench for either side. The Roosters and the Broncos. And here's Brandon Clark. She's been so powerful in either side of half-time here for the Brisbane Broncos. Play it now to Ferguson, 20 out. Goes from dummy half herself. Chased down by a critic. The ball comes loose. And there's a whistle in there somewhere from Linda Sharp as it's, lost there by the Roosters. So it will be a Broncos scrum. 10 out from that southern goal line.
It's the Roosters ball.
Hang on, what did I say?
Yeah, you said the Broncos
initially. Yeah, it's a Roosters ball. Yes, they're in defence. 10 out from their own line. I see it. Who's going? Yeah, they're running from right to left. Now I'm paying attention. Well, I'm always paying attention, but it's just a very fatiguing game for all of us. Here's Jasmine Strange, and she's playing a lot of out from their own line.
Just imagine the players, because they're feeling that he's still Brett. And what's going to happen though is that the scoreboard, the scoreboard pressure is going to come across them soon, because 12-0 is not a bad lead in these oppressive conditions. I know it's not slippery, but they're tired.
Mia Wood makes a carry here, 35 out, 20 in from the eastern side. Parker spots up Rima Butler. Ruan Sims predicted a 85-minute grand final with a Roosters win. So they're down 2 tries to 0. So it's sort of clean margins. Can they find the first of those 2 tries here? Pass went almost intercepted down there by Maddock. And in fact, it was deemed to have been touched. So it will be a Roosters ball. 5 short of the halfway, and the Broncos still lead 12-0 here. 11 gone the second half. ABC Sport, the NRLW Grand Final. Touchline we go, Bridget Murphy.
Well, we're seeing both teams make some changes responding to that fatigue that Gibbsy was talking about. And I mean, a very rested Chelsea Lenaducci back out on the field, which is always dangerous to manage if you're playing against the Broncos. But one interchange that we haven't seen yet is the potential debutant, Jade Hurtigan here for the Sydney Roosters. She's yet to get a crack out onto the field, so I wonder when the Roosters might bring her in.
The Roosters go with Parker. She makes the break over the 50-metre line. Now they're chasing her. They can't get her. Brodie Parker up and chasing him from the corner, but Parker makes the try deep in that northeastern corner, and the Roosters do have their first. From the scrum, it was all Brodie Parker. What a run, 50-odd metres, and the Roosters hit back through their fullback. 12-4, kick to come Roosters, 12 gone, second half on ABC Sport, John Gibbs.
Well, they've been looking for a bit of spark, and they have changed, of course. Brodie Parker now playing in the halves, Corbin Baxter at the back, and they had a little bit of luck on that right-hand side, that eastern flank, a little earlier with Jessica Surges. There was almost a try. The intercept to Hayley Maddox, she knocked it down. They had a scrum feed, they set it wide, and she was on the outside, and Brodie Parker, in her 5th grand final, she has scored a try. So Tamika Upton, her 5th grand final, she scores, Brodie Parker scores, and they are back. There's some life, and have a look at the energy now. It was sapped, but it's now coming back into the veins. Every corpuscle of the Roosters know they're still alive.
And John Gibbs' veins are popping as well here at the ABC Commentary Box. Down to you, Bridget Murphy.
Well, how good are the Musselbrook Rams? They'll be thrilled in the upper hunter with that try. Now, this is going to be a big ask from Jocelyn Kelleher, though. Thankfully, now that we're in the second half, the field is in the shade, because if she had to kick this one from the touchline in the first half, she would have been staring into the sun. But boy, this is a big kick, but if there's any player that can do it, it is Jocelyn Kelleher.
20 out, metre in from the eastern side, as Bridget Murphy mentioned. I think I was calling a race there, Gibbsy, that Brodie Parker try. She was just off to the races.
Yeah, well, she went around Millie Hufanga, which is exactly where Jessica Surges went as well.
Important kick here, Kelleher. 20 out, tough angle. She lays into it now. It's just got the carry, and the flags are up. 12-6. 6-point difference here in the grand final, and the Roosters have struck first during the second 40, or second 35 minutes.
Well, here they go. That is a big kick there, and it was really out of nothing, because they've been dominating. There was a scrum play on the outside, and it went to Brodie Parker. Corbin Baxter coming to the back line, making the extra person, and she gave the ball to Brodie Parker, who was around Millie Hufanga, who's done a mountain of work attacking-wise, but she wasn't quick enough to go laterally across, and the conversion, what a beauty from Kelleher. 12-6, it's game on, Brett.
Absolutely game on. The Roosters playing to defend their premiership and their unbeaten run. Short kick-off lands here now for Keely Davis. So the Roosters get the ball back quite close to the halfway line. 30 out, in from the western side. Dummy half Burton. Across now, Baxter into Tessa Bullo, who's back out there. So they've made a few interchange rotations. Still a couple of fresh players yet to enter the game. Sinead Chizolka for the Broncos as well. Haven't seen her quite yet. Over halfway goes Koenig now for the Roosters. Dummy half Burton across to Kelleher. Back on the inside, Butler. And she's taken down low by Ferguson. Up top in there was Brianna Clark. And now centre field 35 out. That's all figure of Koenig to Kelleher. And now Davis taken high by Brigginshaw. Coming across Teitzel. Last play Roosters. 20 out, 20 in Western touch. Short side they come. Baxter takes on Ferguson. That was the last play. So it's a changeover. 10 out from that northern line, and it remains the Broncos 12, the Roosters 6. 14 gone, 21 left in this second half of the NRLW 2025 Grand Final.
Looking a lot more confident, though. That was a very good tackle by Jada Ferguson. It needed to be made, but a good set after points there by the Roosters. But here's Gale Broad. She's a good stepper.
And she does step here away from Jasmine Strange. Eventually she's claimed 25 out.
She'd look
plays
good
it
on
now
the dance
for
floor.
Hufanga. And now it's coming inside this run from Hufanga. And she runs headlong into Burton and also a Tessa Bulle. Play up 35 out. Left-hand side they go with Leonard Ducey. Recent 50-gamer. A lot of experience for her. 5 short of the halfway. 20 in from the eastern side. On the second last now for the Broncos. Lost out there by Noah Sala. Error Brisbane. And things are just starting to come up for Roosters here, Gibbsy.
Yeah, belief. All of a sudden, the Roosters, through that try, that fine individual try by Bridie Parker, has given the Roosters belief. And that's what happens, Brett. When a game is on a momentum swing, we see it happen so many times in NRL, NRLW, and now the Broncos are second-guessing themselves.
By the way, Anita Claudia Noasala, one of 13 siblings, and they all bar one have a double-barrel first name, like Anita Claudia has, and they've all played footy of some level, except one that's got a single first name. So double-barrel first names in that family guarantee footy success. Here they go. Right-hand side, left behind here by, for Jeff Surgis this time. It came from Baxter, and the Surgis wrapped up. She told our Nesian Footy podcast, or Nesian Footy show a couple of weeks ago. It comes off here. It's a Bridie Parker, the Roosters' second half try scorer. Only try scorer of the game so far. 30 out from that Broncos line. Comes to Jasmine Strange, and she straightens her run there into that Broncos defensive pack. In there first was Lauren Dam. I'll play it 22 out now. It's come to Koenig, first receiver. Nowhere to go here. She offloads back to Burton, and now at their Lopper Maua. Not quite there. She takes a few with her as her grounding. She slams it down next to the post, and the Roosters have struck back to back. It'll be scores level here soon. Lopper Maua. She is all power. 12-10. Kicks to come, Roosters. 16 gone. 19 left. Second half, John Gibbs in the NRLW Grand Final.
And that's only the second try of her career, but all of a sudden Olivia Koenig is getting involved. There's been an offload that was brilliant, but the Broncos made a mistake. Look, they're having a crisis meeting, the Broncos behind the post now. They're all in a huddle because they had this game at their mercy. Almost. But that was a beautiful step by Lopper Maua. She got through the tackle there. It was a little bit high, that tackle there by Anita Claudia Nuasala. But on that occasion, Lopper Maua, as you say, Lopper Maua is power.
Richard Milky on the touchline.
Oh, what an incredible push for that try. You could see for a second there was almost that she was going to fumble it, but then she gathers it back and she plants it down. Absolutely incredible try for the Sydney Roosters. John Strange will be very, very, very happy with that one.
As you mentioned, Gibbsy, she debuted last year, played just 4 games, wasn't part of the 17 or the 18 on Grand Final day last year, Lopper Maua, but that's fantastic. So she gets an opportunity today. She scores a very important try, and now on the boot of Jocelyn Kelleher, this kick should be 14 metres out and about 23 in from the eastern side. A far simpler assignment than her previous one, which she nailed from the side.
Well, that one was a confidence booster too. 8 and 6 in a game like this is quite incredible, but what a time to score your first try this year. That is just a big try, and that was just desire.
So, here's Jocelyn Kelleher. Big role for her the past couple of weeks. Of course, no Taryn Aiken, who was best of field last year. She nails this conversion. We're all locked up at 12 points apiece in the NRLW Grand Final 2025. Off the SMS, 0467 920 222. Peter Foreign Park says, thanks, Brett and team, for a great year of footy. Glenn, that's it. No more text from me anymore. Good on you, Glenn. The very unhappy Waratah Seagull. In Brisbane, Ryan says, I'm a delivery driver around Red Hill, and it's amazing to see the roads clearing up. Fulshay Road is going off. It's a really special time up here in Brisbane. Is that how you say it? Near the Red Hill headquarters of the Broncos? I have no idea. Trish in Concord says, bing, bing, bing. I can still say, go the Roosters. And thank you, Peter from Hawksnest, for your text as well, and Rob as well. Big Daddy in Coffs Harbour says Broncos girls win this and Broncos men win 28-26. Thank you, Big Daddy. 0467 920 222. This grand final is locked up at 12 points all, and we are now just past the halfway mark of this second half. Roosters had the footy from the kickoff. 30 out, 10 in from the west to the side. Played now Isabel Kelly. She's been quiet in this game, the Roosters skipper. Can she and Jess Surges find their way through? Here's a Tessa Bulle, their fifth most experienced player on their roster. Only try she scored was last time they met. Now it comes off to that right-hand side. That's Lopamau, the try scorer. Offloads back to Koenig. She enters the game in a big way. Centre field run 40 out. Offloads back to Shorten Burton. Now Lopamau again. She skips away from Broughton. Dragged down there by Joseph. Desperate stuff there from the Broncos defence. On play 3, the Roosters. 20 out. Koenig across now again to Kelleher. Sent wide to Isabel Kelly. She shrugs away one tackle there of Upton, who's down, I think, in back plays. Up there was it Maddock, in fact, for the Broncos. Yeah, it's the winger Maddock. Meanwhile, it comes across to the right-hand side, played by Parker, 15 out. And this will be a right-hand side shift again for the edge, and Mia Wood scores the try. Make it 3 in a row for the Roosters. Patient build-up, left to right shift, and the Roosters make it 16-12. They lead for the first time in the grand final, John Gibbs.
Well, it was a big play because they took the ball up again after points, a really good set. Then they set the ball out wide. Mia Wood has done a great job. She's a try scorer. She was in a good position, got a good ball from Jessica Surges, but this is what they do. If they're giving the ball, they're shifting the ball. That's what they had to do. When they were going one up, that was just manna from heaven for the Broncos. But now, when they go out wide, and Mia Wood, seriously, she has had that on her fingertips, literally.
Bridget, maybe they've scored 3 tries in the space of about 6 minutes.
I'm sure he won't mind if I do this for a second week in a row, but considering it is the Roosters, it would be rude of me not to give a bit of a Connor Watson wow down here, because oh my goodness, the change in this game. But to make you excited for something a little bit later, I see a storm rolling in down on this sideline. The boys have arrived.
There we go.
I thought I was going to have to go for my umbrella.
No, I think you're safe for now, Gibbsy. Of course, you'll be sidelined for our men's decider. Here's a tough kick for Kelleher again. She nailed the first one, which is just like this one. 20 out, meter in from the eastern side. Here she is, and it's quite flat, but just carries the crossbar to make it Roosters 18, Broncos 12. 14:50 left, and the game has swung like that, Gibbsy, in the space of 8 minutes.
Well, that is clutch from Jocelyn Kelleher, who has been fantastic. She got the clutch field goal that got them into the grand final against Cronulla. She is nailed absolutely from the eastern touchline as far out as she could get, and she just hits them. They're like a Tiger Woods stinger. They don't get very high off the ground, but they just keep going, just go over the crossbar, and they are 2 phenomenal kicks that will give them great confidence. But we've still got 15 minutes, Brett.
Yeah, unbelievable. 0467 920 222. Rhino, Keto, Griffo and Bob listening to your amazing call on the mighty Bogan River up the mighty Ningan Tigers. Is there a Bogan River? There's probably a few of them in Australia. Kicks down towards that 10-metre line here.
Not at Ningan, there's only one at Ningan.
Baxter back here again now to a Tessa Bulle, and she's 25 out from that southern line here. Roosters have just seized the momentum in this NRLW grand final. Comes across now again to Lopamau. She scored the second of those 3 tries. Bridie Parker, Eliza Lopamau and Mia Wood in this second half so far for the Roosters. Parker makes the break again, but she's dragged down there quick smart by Noah Sala, just shy of the halfway. Over halfway they go now again, this time with Lopamau. 40 out centre field. Roosters here on this second last play. Koenig directing traffic, shares it with Kelleher, left behind by Davis. Picked up now by the Broncos. Robinson over the 40, the 30, the 20, and she goes into scoring to the post. Oh, the game's far from done yet. Robinson hits back. And the Broncos Broncos respond. 18-16, kick to come Brisbane with 13 and a half left, Johnny Gibbs.
Well, that pass was a pressure pass and it was unnecessary. When you're controlling things beautifully, you don't have to do that. But Julia Robinson, she picked the scraps up. She still had plenty of work to do, by the way. I think it was
65 metres.
I think it was Jocelyn Kelleher who tried to get it initially, but the pass that was thrown, a short pass, it didn't have to be thrown. It was thrown, it was dropped, the player was under a lot of pressure, and away she went, Julia Robinson. She's run for 1 million metres this year. We'll make that 1,065,000 because that is an important one right underneath the post. Almost won the Dally M, of course, with her teammate Tamika Upton winning it after Julia was rested. But this is right in front. This is going to be 18 all. Maybe we're going to get what we want, Sims, an 85-minute match.
This could be a classic grand final here as we'll wait for the kick now from Romy Teitzel. She's directly in front, 10 metres out to make it 18 all and scores level again. Off the SMS, Ben from Adelaide, listening in from Victor Harbour Caravan Park. Go the Broncos, ladies and gents. So it's a club-wide experience today for the Brisbane Broncos.
We're waiting for confirmation, by the way, Spriggy.
Well, there was nothing in the run or the grounding from Robinson that was an issue. It's just a matter of maybe... No, it's been cleared. I reckon. Well, not yet. They're looking, not yet. So, is it... So, Kelleher... It hits. Oh, is it knocked down there as Brigginshaw makes the tackle on Davis. This will be a Broncos. No try. Yep. It came off Brigginshaw's hands. High drama here at Stadium Australia because the Robinson try will not stand.
We've got an on-field ruling of a forward pass Roosters, which is the first breach. Now hits the left hand of Ali, which is a knock-on.
Yep.
We have a decision.
No try, Robinson. It will remain 18-12, the Roosters. Down to you, Bridget Murphy, on the touchline.
Heartbreak for the Brisbane Broncos. One of the most special things about that not try was when it was planted down, it was in front of an absolutely packed fan bay of Brisbane Broncos fans. Obviously here for 2 games, but that was absolutely heart-wrenching for that to be taken away. But now the Sydney Roosters, they can say a breath of relief.
Well, Brisbane get the ball because the pass was initially deemed forward before it's knocked on by Brigginshaw. So the first offence was against the Roosters. So 35 out. So it doesn't stop that there was a pressure play that shouldn't have been played.
13:40 left on the clock, John Gibbs, and there was a disallowed 56-minute try for the Broncos and Julia Robinson. So let's see.
And no doubt about the call.
Go again.
It was a correct call.
She was in that part of the ground, so it's going to be a scrum feed Broncos. Darting away here is that player Robinson. She's heaped back by Isabel Kerr, opposite number. 7 short of the halfway line. Can the Broncos win it back? Destiny Brill, dummy half. Open side left now for Noah Sala. And she's a metre short of the halfway. Play it there with Koenig at marker. Brill from dummy half again. Gains a quick dozen. This is only play. Oh, it's 3. Make it 4 now for the Broncos. So a fast start to the set. But now as Kelly Joseph steamrolls Zach Bullay, who's down there clutching her face. Down to more on her shortly. 25 out Broughton. Takes on Davis. Stop now, 20 out. This will be last play Broncos, who trail by 6 points, 18-12. They run the ball last play. That'll be a changeover.
What's doing there? Last play and you have a prop just run into the fence.
Noah Sala. So
you're trailing by 6.
It'll be a Roosters ball. 10 out from their own line. Bridget Murphy, down to you.
Yes, it was a Tessa Pole who did stay down for a bit long for the Broncos, but she's up, she's back, and she's in the line. So it looks like it was just a bit of a rattle there.
John Gibbs is throwing pens. Speaking of rattle, I'm rattled up here as well.
Scott Prince would be having apoplexy.
12 and a half minutes left here. 18-12, the Roosters lead. They scored 3 straight tries in the space of 8 minutes through Parker, Lopamawa and Wood. And now Alia Narcio makes her up the left-hand side now, the back rower. And she's 12 short of the halfway as the Roosters now on play number 3. Dummy half Davis goes short side to her captain Kelly. Brigginshaw brings her down on the logo western side and she'll play it now here. Back to dummy half. Open side right. Links up with Davis. Krennick burst by as well. Kelleher. There's a shift out there if they want one. But Kelleher carries the footy into the clutches of Lauren Dam and also Destiny Brill. 40 out centre field here now for the Sydney Roosters. Open side right they come. Last play kick from Parker. That's Upton. Back with the flight did well. Burton wraps her up. But they'll begin their next set of the game, the Broncos. 15 out, 8 in from the eastern side. It's the Roosters 18. The Broncos who led 12-0 at the half. Trail 18-12. Here goes Hufanga. 11:25 left in the game, Gibbsy. Here goes Broughton. And she gains 15 now. Made light work of Jasmine Strange with a nice step. And now she's stopped 7 short of the halfway by Koenig. Dummy half, Upton feeds it right-hand side. Again, they go through Solaso. And she's 40 out centre field. Broncos here, peel away to the right-hand side, Brigginshaw on their second last. Beats one tackler, straightens up now, needs support. Came away, knocked back by the Roosters. Loose ball, dived on now by the Roosters. It was, though, knocked back by, or knocked forward by them, back in the contest. But it's come back that 50-metre line, and it will be a Broncos ball from there, Gibbsy. 10:40 left, it remains. Roosters 18, Brisbane 12.
Great break there by Ali Brigginshaw. She was desperately looking for support. She threw the ball around the outside, and it was knocked on. I think it might have been Destiny Brill who was backing up, but they have still got key players here. Tamika Upton has got to get involved, and obviously that could have gone either way actually when I saw the replay. But here they are, centre field, 20 metres out. Great opportunity, great position to attack.
25 out centre field, as Gibbsy said. Tamika Upton inside ball. Hufanga, can she find something here? As Strange tackles her and wrapped up ball and all there by a couple of Roosters defenders. Destiny Brill, dummy half. Here goes Noah Sala again. Gains a quick dozen. She's now 7 out left-hand side of the post. Only play 2 now for the Broncos. Come across for Joseph. And she's brought down by Parker. So too Narcio. Right-hand side of the uprights this time. 3 metres shy. They come short side. And now Solaso crashes over. And might just level things up here. It's 18-16. Kick to come Brisbane. The Dahlia Rookie of the Year. Shalom Solaso makes it a 2-point ball game. 9.5 left, Gibbsy.
Well, it's been a great break initially by Ali Brigginshaw. The ball was knocked down. They got another crack. And that Claudia Nuasala had a strong run. And then they went short side. Destiny Brill looked up as he had the young phenom off her shoulder. She is some player, Shayla Suaso, and close to the line. She was not going to be stopped. She got over the top and she slammed the ball down. Now, what about this for a pressure kick? 18 metres in from the western touchline. 18 metres out. Robbie Title has a kick to level things up in the 2025 NRLW Grand Final.
All right, the Bridget moving very shortly as we just wait for this kick from Robbie Title. What a game this is. So she's 17 metres out here, Robbie Title. She's 2 from 2 so far. Of course, that was their first try of the second half after the Roosters had all the run of things after half-time. Title comes in and she misses.
That's pressure.
Misses near side. It is finals. That's grand final pressure. Gibbsy remains. Roosters 18, Broncos 16. Touchline Bridget Murphy.
I was getting ready to say that Romy Teitzel is an absolute specialist in those sorts of kicks, but she absolutely shanks that one. My goodness, that should have gone through for Romy Teitzel. Tough kick, but one that she's done time and time again, and she's lining up just near me, and you can see that she is just absolutely filthy with herself. But the Broncos, they can keep this momentum. I wouldn't write off another try.
She's going to move on, doesn't she, Gibbsy? She can't get bogged down about that, Romy Teitzel. There's still 8.5 minutes left.
And Bridget's described that perfectly. I had one of those at golf yesterday, Bridget, a shank. That was an outright shank, but mine was under no pressure. No. So I can understand Romy, but I'm still trying to work mine out.
The stakes are high. Higgins are at 18-16. Roosters still lead. Kelleher kicks off. Upton receives. Feeds it back to the try scorer. Solaso. She just storms back into that Roosters defensive line. 20 out from that northern goal line here at Stadium Australia. What an NRLW Grand Final this is. As Brill sends it wide now to Brown and Clark. Tackle Booty out now. Broncos. 2-point ball game, so really, at least if they can score a try here, they're ahead. Broughton, 5 short of the halfway as Kelleher meets her one direction and Sue just comes in from the other way. The Funga dummy half, across now, open side right for Keely Joseph. As mentioned, the former Rooster, won the comp in 2022 with the Roosters. Of course, plays for Queensland and Australia as well. Played by Joseph. Brill. Right-hand side, Brigginshaw. Back on the inside now for Clark, who's wrapped up immediately by Rima Butler. This will be last play, Brisbane, 45 shy of the Roosters line. Brill goes to the left for Broughton, who gives that right foot drop punt everything. In fact, it sort of hangs in the air a little bit there, arrives down on the chest of Corbin Baxter, and she's chased away there by Lauren Dam. She'll play at 30 out. Roosters back on the attack. They lead by just 2 points, 18-16 the score line, 7:20 left in the game here. The NRLW Grand Final 2025. Here they go. Isabel Kelly, play at 40 out. Kelleher onto Fassad. Can she break this little sort of deadlock here? The Roosters do lead, but they'd love some more points. Davis dummy half. We share it with Macy Carlisle. Quick dozen now for the bench forward, and she's 35 out from the Broncos line, northern end of the ground. Davis fires it right to Koenig. Off here again to Butler, and she's put down 25 out. Last play, Chooks. 6:45 left in this grand final. Kelleher running kick off the instep. Bounce down towards Kerry Johnson. Pressure on the winger. Has some room to move though. Too pacey for Koenig. She sees half a gap there, which closes quickly as Narcio comes in with Butler, and the Broncos will play at 25 out from their own line. Oh, good post contact game there from Jock. Now 30 out.
Well, they don't want to panic here. They've got still plenty of time because they're only 2 behind, and the penalty is still in play.
Here's Tamika Upton, 8 short of the halfway. Play it now for Brigginshaw. The Roosters player still getting back play, by the way, as Brigginshaw gains 12 or 13 metres now. So, is she here as Rima Butler, I think it is, as the Broncos go on the attack with Hufanga. This is tackled 4 now for the Brisbane Broncos. Played now here to Destiny Brill. Upton bursts away, and she's clobbered now by Koenig. Sandwiched between she and Kelly Davis. Dummy half goes Brill. Last play Broncos. Running kick Brigginshaw. Skids in the in-goal area and planted by the defence. Corbin Baxter. So there'll be a line dropout. Time off blown here as there is some issue, I think primarily with Rima Butler, I think it is in back play. Bridget, down to you.
Yeah, so she is with the trainer. She did get to her feet, but then the trainer started waving for play to stop. It looks like it is a head contact. She has started to kneel down. 2 trainers with her now. We're just seeing if she's going to be taken from the field because she looked a little bit, I don't want to say spacey, but it was a bit like that. But she is now running with the trainer back towards the Roosters pack. So potentially she's staying back out there, Rima Butler.
Crowd here, by the way, Bridge, about, 40 or so now, you reckon?
Oh, I'd say so. Easily,
oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Good timing.
Wow, 46,288, I reckon.
There we go. I think you've nailed it. So there you go. So it is building, of course. We'll have it all covered for you here. The NRL Grand Final build up shortly with Gibbsy and the team. But in the meantime, there is still 5 minutes and 40 seconds left. And now, so it's not just Butler, but we can see an egg there over the right eye. Just seeing how this all came to be with Isabel Kelly as a who copped it. It didn't look like it initially, but she's...
That was a great put down, by the way, by Corbin Baxter. She was under enormous pressure. It was a good grubber kick into the in-goal area. So a head clash there.
Down to you, Bridge. So who's got the...
Keely Davis,
yes,
the dummy half of the Sydney Roosters. The egg of all eggs on the side of her eye. She has blown up something shocking. There's no way she can see out of her right eye at the moment. But we also do have Isabel Kelly down as well. There are 3 Roosters players just absolutely torn to shreds at the moment.
And they lead by 2 points.
They lead by 2. Jade Hurtigen, who we haven't seen in this game, she is getting up. I would imagine she's going to have to come on for one of these girls because it is absolute carnage out here.
We haven't seen her in this game. We haven't seen her at all, Bridge. It's her debut, of course. Just to remind people, it's unbelievable.
It is absolutely incredible. It's her debut. She has not played an NRLW game, was moved in from 18th player onto the bench for the Sydney Roosters. We're still waiting to see if she's going to get a crack. We also haven't seen Shanae Sajolka, who from the Brisbane Broncos yet, but getting another look at, I was about to say Isabel Kelly's got an ankle problem, but the trainer is actually just tying her shoelaces. So I don't think there's an ankle problem there, but Keely Davis...
She's a cyclops. She
cannot see, but she's staying out there by the looks of things.
She's got one working eye, Keely Davis, anyway. So line drop out Roosters.
And when your captain Isabel Kelly gets her shoelaces tied up.
What can Upton do here? She's okay now though, Isabel Kelly. She makes the tackle. 30 out, 20 in. from the western side there on Suaso, the game's most recent try scorer. Now they go Keely Joseph. Very important setter in the game. 5 minutes and 15 seconds left, Gibbsy. The Roosters lead the grand final by 2 points. From dummy half, Brill finds Broughton. Speaking of Brill, here's the brilliant Upton, which is claimed 13 out, 20 in from the eastern side. Tackle 3 coming up here for the Broncos. Open side right. A strong run there from Brianna Clark, and she's now 6 away from that Roosters line. Played to Brill. Comes left-hand side. Broughton now. Hufanga. Watch out. Danger. She steamrolls 1, 2 and goes crashing over. Is she held up? Ref says try. Melee Hufanga. And the Broncos go back ahead. What a crazy grand final. 20 points to 18, kick to come Brisbane, 4.5 left, Jonty.
Well, Millie Funga has been breaking tackles this afternoon for fun. She has been burned on a couple of occasions on the outside. Gotti Parker got around her, Jessica Surges, but she came back at an angle, and seriously, there was 4 or 5 Roosters in her way, and she should just get out of the way, out of the way, out of the way, and over. And Belinda Sharp was there, well positioned, and she had such attitude to get to the line. And that,
hang on. I'm not convinced here. I think Linda Sharp's confidence is maybe no. There we go. Second there. She got it down anyway. Bridget, maybe down to you.
On one blade of grass, basically, she gets that one down. Holy dooly. I do want to give a shout out to Gail Broughton, who gave Melee Hufanga almost a perfect inside ball. Of course, it's Gail Broughton's last game for the Brisbane Broncos, so she'll want to go out with a high for this club. But how good's footy?
Especially footy like this. So yeah, Gail Broughton up for the Warriors next year. Of course, Jessie Southwell will join the Broncos ranks. We've been reliably informed. Here's the kick for. This is going to be a big one. They're still showing replays.
She got it down.
Yeah. She got it down. It was just that second effort issue.
And it's gone up as a try, so they won't be able to overturn it. And Brianna Clark's going to take the kick.
Yeah, Brianna Clark. So after Teitzel missed the previous one, this to give the Broncos a 4-point buffer with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left. And she comes. Brianna Clark, up go the flags. Broncos ahead by 4. So, there is still any number of things to play out yet in this NRLW Premiership decider. You're with Brett Sprigg, John Gibbs, Bridget Murphy. Your text welcome 0467 920 222. Come on, Sydney, says one texter. Paul Wollongong says Broncos supporters are a factor in this game. Yeah, they are, because they're here for the men's and they're here for both grand finals. So, as Bridget said earlier, they're making a lot of noise out here, the Broncos fans. Cody, thank you for your text. And thank you for those who have given us more information about the Bogan River and the Bogan Shire. 22-18. Short kick-off here, Roosters. Who can get there first? It's lost back here by the Broncos and pounced on the wing by Tamika Upton. 25 out from that northern line. Now it's with Romy Teitzel. Can they hang on to the footy? Hang on to a 4-point lead here. 3:50 left in the grand final. Their first GF in 5 years, the Broncos. Here they go, a run from Suaso. She almost steamrolled one tackler in the air, Jess. In fact, Jess. How good is Jess Surges, who's still down there? Destiny Brill from dummy half. Waste no time. Joseph angles her on over the halfway into the one-eyed Keely Davis. And she'll play at 5 inside that southern half of Stadium Australia. Here they go. Broughton, catch, and a delayed release here for Hufanga. Sends the pass wide here. Johnson's off in open space. 15 shy. Baxter gets her head on to stop what could have been a game-winning, game-sealing try. Broncos hit on the last. 8 away deep in that far corner of the ground. Upton puts in the kick. It's come off the Roosters and arrives back there for Butler. So she's still out there. The Roosters have possession. 3 minutes and 2 seconds left in the game. Broncos lead by 4 points. Here's Macy Carlisle.
Only 15 out from their own line. That's a problem for the Roosters.
Can the Brisbane Broncos hem them in a bit further as well? Koenig's pass goes wayward. Picked up on the bounce by Corbin Baxter. Brisbane 22, the Sydney Roosters 18. Roosters trying to go back-to-back and seal 19 straight wins across 2 seasons. Here they go through Narcio. Play at 25 out. Already played 4 here now for the Roosters. Koenig, can she give them some dash and some position? She's turned there in the tackle from Brill and also Suaso. It's last play, Roosters inside 40. The kick will come now from Kelleher. Just thumps it high in the air. Under it now is Chizolka. So she's a clean, sort of a fresh pair of legs there for the Broncos. Hasn't played until just very recently, coming off the bench in this game. 35 out, positioned well with the Broncos to protect that 4-point lead with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left here in the grand final. Play at 5 short of the halfway there, Robinson. Dummy half goes Upton. Stopped there from behind by Bridie Parker in front on Koenig. Two ABC Ruan Sims medalists out there, Upton and Koenig. Here they go from Suaso. Great gain there from the rookie. Scored that decisive try midway through this second half. 25 out here. Minute 40 left now for the Broncos. It is second last play here for the Broncos. Brill flat ball finds Brianna Clark, and she's stopped now by Carlisle. 15 out, last play, Broncos. 90 seconds left in the grand final. Brigham short of Upton. Sends it here to Teitzel, takes on Parker, and she's stopped now. It'll be a changeover. 5 away from the Roosters line. They'll have a minute and 15 seconds. Gibbs to go the length of Stadium Australia.
Good game management there by the Broncos. They're not going to take a tackle or do a kick and risk a 7-tackle restart. They've got to shift the ball.
So here they go.
Go to the
Roosters,
edges.
15 out. Can they shift it wide? It's do or die now for the Tricolours. It's out there on that far side. The Broncos' defence is strong. 25 out, 20 in. Dummy half. Parker comes open side left. Middle of the ground here is Koenig. It's on play 3. 22-18 remains the Broncos lead here with 45 seconds left. They've got 3 plays left here. Kelleher, early kick. A dinky one goes cross field. There for Brigginshaw, retrieves it. She's nailed by Narcio, but she holds the footy. Brigginshaw stays down. This is time management here for the Broncos, unless she's been truly flattened by Narcio. She may have been. Either way, a couple of seconds come off the clock. Linda Sharp blows time off. There was a pause here. Bridget Murphy touchline.
Yeah, Ali Brigginshaw doesn't look like she's in too good a shape. She is staying down, taking a drink. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. But I can say in the dying seconds of this grand final with 30 seconds to go, Jade Hurtigan from the Sydney Roosters is holding an interchange card. So let's see if she gets out there for the final 30 seconds of the grand final. Oh no, she's just handed it back to the trainer. Oh no.
False alarm. Okay, so this will be penalty Broncos. So they will get possession or keep possession here as it's tapped by Teitzel.
Narcio on report.
Narcio on report as she was late in the game a couple of weeks ago against the Sharks. And headbin as well here for Ali Brigginshaw. And I feel like she can sense here, as the Broncos fans and all their support staff can as well, this game is just about done. 21 seconds left, they lead by 4 points. Doesn't tell half the story of the grand final. Brill dummy half off to Clark, and she trots back in field now, wrapped up by 3 Roosters. 10 seconds left, 47,000 here in the building. Unbelievable grand final. Broughton at dummy half. The seconds tick down here. The crowd chants along. She's run down, and the Chooks perfect dozen comes to a stop on grand final day. The Broncos get it done. Oh no, there's a melee here as well. There's a brawl after the full-time hooter. There were Broncos celebrations, and then there was just all kinds of action. Potential punches being thrown. Gibbs, this is unbelievable. This is not how you see usually any game of footy end, let alone a grand final.
And when you say a melee, the only player not in it was Melee
Hufanga, yes, but there was a melee of players. And the Broncos withstood an all-time Roosters second half comeback, and they are jubilant here because they have won this absolute humdinger of an NRLW grand final, 22 points to 18. John Gibbs.
Incredible game. They led 12-0 at half-time, and all of a sudden the Roosters went crash, bang, wallop, scored 3 converted tries. 2 of those, Jocelyn Kelleher converted from the absolute touchline. There's a long whistle, so it's now official. But amazingly, then there was a try by Shaylin Suaso, and it was next to the post. It was an easy one for Teitzel. She missed 18-16, but then they scored late to Mela Hifanga, who for mine was the player of the match.
The Broncos champions for a fourth time this NRLW competition. First time in 5 years when they last beat the Roosters. And they reign supreme as NRL Women's Champions once again. The stage is being set up out there. We'll get to Bridget Murphy very shortly. What an unreal end to the game. It looked as though it was just jubilation from the Broncos, the ball being kicked and all kinds of... Then there was just, as you say, a couple of punches thrown in there maybe as well.
We might hear more about that.
Yeah, I think we will. Anyway,
here we go. I've got Bridget and there's a player coming.
Yeah, I'll get Bridget up. I'll keep you up, Bridget, so you can just tell me when you got someone. Down to you.
I'm here with the captain, the grand final winning captain, Ali Brigginshaw. Does it get old?
It never gets old, but what a match from the Roosters. To be fair, that was probably one of the most exciting games I'm sure you've ever seen. So credit to the Roosters. They're down on numbers. They've had plenty of injuries, but one hell of a side and didn't want to go away.
When those tries were scored in front of that massive pack of Broncos fans over there, how magical was that for you?
I'm telling you, they help. They help a lot. Fans are always so good. They get us across the line. And, to be fair, Tamika's leadership today, she held the team together like glue. And I cannot say we're watching the best player in the world perform out there.
Is there a chance that in the next few seasons you see Tamika Upton somehow getting better and better and better?
To be honest, I probably do, because she's just someone that works extremely hard. But today she just showed her composure, and you know what, she's one hell of a kind. But have to say, Gail Broughton and those girls, they stood up today. Some of them played their last game in a Broncos jersey, so we did it for them and we did it for Brisbane.
Now, of course, we want to focus on the positives, which is the win. But what happened at the end there? Was a bit of a push and shove, a bit of passion?
I actually missed it. But you know what? We are so fiery. We're competitive. We love our jersey, and that's probably what it was. A bit of exhaustion, but we're all competitive. So I know the girls will be friends after.
Well, congratulations on this season and the premiership, and thanks for talking to ABC Sports.
Thank you.
Ali Brigginshaw, co-captain, now a four-time premiership winning captain, and there she is, Bridget Murphy. So in her second last year, by the way, as well. Of course, she's retiring next year. She made that known, Ali Brigginshaw, and I'll keep your mic up, Bridge, so whenever you get someone, just jump in, because of course the reaction is always so raw in these moments, and it was just unbelievable there, winners and losers. Down to you, Bridge.
I'm here with Bridie Parker, the Roosters fullback. Bridie, what an absolutely tough, gritty game that just had just about everything.
Yeah, such a tough game. Heartbreak. I think that's all I feel right now. We dug deep. We obviously were down when we went into the sheds, and we come back out and really made a statement. But yeah, Broncos today just outplayed us.
Now, in that second half, though, to come back with those tries, your try in particular, you must have been so proud of the effort that you were able to put on in that second 35.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we come out of the sheds ready to fire. We put on those points, but yeah, just couldn't come away with it in the end. So proud of the girls, though. So proud of the season that we had, and yeah, we'll go again next year.
Now, how's the noggin? I'm looking at it now. There's a bit of a cut in the middle of the forehead. How are you feeling?
I haven't had a look at myself. I just knew with the big bandage I didn't look pretty at all. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a look at it when I go in to the sheds, but hopefully it's a little bit of fix will make me look all good again.
Now, I've covered a few of the Roosters games this season, and your fans, they have turned out and they've supported you on this incredible run. What's your message to them?
We're so grateful. We have the most amazing fans. Like you said, we hear them, we feel them every game. They travel near and far to come and support us. Without them, we wouldn't be who we are. So yeah, massive shout out to all our fans. Thank you so much for supporting us this season.
And quickly, we were saying in about coverage a bit about the Muswellbrook Rams. Message to the Rams, they would be so proud of you.
Yeah, obviously homegrown Muswellbrook Rams. Really proud to say that they're my home club, and really appreciate all the support that they've given me.
Well, onward and upward. Thanks for talking to ABC Sport.
Thank you very much.
Bridie Parker there, the losing fullback there with Bridget Murphy. So thanks, Bridge. We'll keep an eye on you as we get set for the presentations. And Scott Prince, as he was a champion here 20 years ago for West Tigers, he is a premiership winning coach now with the Brisbane Broncos.
Yeah, well done to Scott Prince and the Brisbane Broncos players. But brave fight back from the Roosters. And look, they had some key injuries and they lost. There was 7 of last year's premiership winning side for various reasons that weren't playing. Some have left. Millie Elliott, for instance, on maternity leave. All sorts of things have happened. So it was a different squad, but they did a really good job. They've had a great run, and 18 in a row comes to a stop. But the Brisbane Broncos led by 12, but they got one awful fright.
Absolutely. It doesn't tell half the story. 12-0 half-time, the Broncos win full-time, but that was just a scary momentum shift for them, I'm sure, when the Roosters scored 3 tries in a 7.5-minute span.
Gail Broughton, Melly Hufanga, absolutely fabulous.
You're saying Hufanga for Karen Murphy?
That's my tip. Yeah, she was unstoppable in the first half. Her scored
the winning try.
The premiership winning try. Missed a couple of tackles, but she was tied. I think, on balance, I'd be going with her for the Karen Murphy medal.
Bridge, down to you.
I'm here with Tamika Upton, the winning fullback with the Brisbane Broncos. Tamika, congratulations. Another premiership, your first one back with the Broncos. How do you feel?
Oh, I'm actually lost for words at the moment. I'm so incredibly proud of our team. It was obviously a very hard-fought battle out there, which we knew it was going to be, but some members of our team really stood up today, and it was a very big team effort.
It was a big arm wrestle too. The Roosters girls came back in that second half firing. What was that like to manage?
It was obviously really hard. You know, we had to keep believing, and that's what happens in footy. They had all the momentum and all the footy. We really had to back our defence and keep believing that we'd get the points there in the end.
And having this season now back home in Queensland with these girls that you've played so much footy in different arenas, what does it mean to you to cap off this first year with a premiership?
Oh, it's incredible. It's something we've worked so hard to do. And yeah, like I said, I'm lost for words at the moment, but I'm sure it's going to sink in any moment.
Well, we're about to get underway with the presentation, so enjoy it. Congratulations, and thanks for talking to ABC Sport.
Thank you.
Always fun, the presentations. Thank you, Bridget, and thanks to Tamika Upton, of course. We've heard from both of the winning co-captains now in this NRLW season, and it's hard to believe that this Roosters run has ended. At 18 straight games across the 2 seasons, they won 12 and zip, 11 regular season games, of course, won the prelim just last week, and then it looked like it was all theirs with, 15 minutes left, Gibbsy. Even when Robinson's try was denied because the Ali Brigginshaw knock-on, then Suaso and Hufanga score those all-important tries to clinch a 22 points to 18 win there for the Brisbane Broncos. It is just the most steely, unbelievable, inspiring result. If you're a Broncos men's player, you think we want to win like that if the game's not going our way the second half. So unbelievable effort there in the end.
Yeah, it was a great effort, and as I said before, look, I think on balance the Brisbane Broncos deserved their victory, but the Roosters, they hit the lead, and those conversions by Jocelyn Kelleher were fantastic. And then the rookie of the year, Shalem Suaso, what about that try? And then Millie Hufanga scoring. It was amazing. Even the missed goal by Romy Teitzel added to the anxiety that was that game.
Let's get to our presentation downstairs.
Telstra, our naming rights partner. Without your unwavering support and investment, the women's game wouldn't be in the incredible spot it is today. So thank you. First off today, we are going to announce the Karen Murphy Medal for Player of the Match. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. From the Brisbane Broncos, Melee Hufanga.
There you go. And her teammates are so wrapped for her. It's not Tamika Upton this time. Melee Hufanga is making her approach to the stage, and her teammates were up. Oh, now they've just doused Scotty Prince in the ice and the sports drink as well, which is a tradition. There we go. Melee Hufanga shakes Andrew Abdo and Peter Volandi's hand and receives the Karen Murphy medal there. The woman herself, of course, presented this to Tamika Upton a few years ago on the Grand Final Day, a couple of years ago. The current Gold Coast Titans coach, here is Melee Hufanga.
I'll make this nice and short. First of all, I just want to give thanks to the man above just for bringing us here, gathering us here all together. I want to thank the Roosters, big game out there. Thank you for playing. I'd like to thank our friends and family who turned up to Sydney today. Last but not least, to my teammates, I love you guys. This is for you guys. And last of all, Brisbane, stand up!
All reluctant speech giver there, but a more than deserving winner of the Karen Murphy
Well done,
medal.
Melee. They're standing up for you all right. It's time now to invite to the stage the runner-up captain from the Sydney Roosters, Isabel Kelly.
So we will hear from the Chooks skipper, of course. This time last year, she was making a very different kind of speech on grand final day. The Roosters denied the opportunity at back-to-back, but what an unbelievable win for the Brisbane Broncos. Here is
reverse grand finals last year.
Yeah. Well, the result was,
No, because they led by so far.
Firstly, I just want to thank BYD, Kari and Ward and all the sponsors that are always looking out for us Sydney Roosters and making sure that we can perform and play our best footy at the club. I just want to thank the Brisbane Broncos for a great match. You guys have been incredible all season, and I'm really glad that it was us two showcasing what we can do in Women's Rugby League for the grand final, so thank you. To my team, the coaching staff, I think we've had such an incredible year off the field. The footy is just the bonus that we get to all play together. I think when you look at our group and the adversity and the resilience that we've built this year with so many injuries to key players, I'm so proud that the scoreline was that, because we just dug so deep and we did everything we could for each other. So I'm so proud to call myself a Rooster and lead you girls. And to all the fans, thank you for showing up. I think that was a great game of footy, truly exciting, and hopefully we're back here next year. So thank you very much.
Everything suggests they will be. The Roosters and the Broncos have two very strong rosters to contest the premiership for many years to come.
I'd now like to invite our match officials to the stage, Belinda Sharp and our touch judges Rochelle Tamarua and Ethan Klein, and they'll be getting their medals from some aspiring junior referees.
We had 47,000 or thereabouts in the building midway through that second half, and of course the crowd certainly building here as we approach our build-up to the NRL Grand Final. Of course, the Melbourne Storm and Brisbane Broncos. We'll get a final word from Bridget Murphy downstairs shortly. We'll hit the ABC News at 6 o'clock, and
Time
then
now
Brett
to
Cole
invite
and the
the
team
winners to the stage.
will rejoin you. But here are the NRLW winners. Scott Prince makes his way up first of all. As I said, a winner here as a player for the Tigers 20 years ago.
Kerry Johnson.
Their winger, Kerry Johnson, receives her premiership medal as well.
Melee Hufanga.
The Karen Murphy medalist approaches the stage again.
Julia Robinson.
Now a four-time premiership winner, Julia Robinson, of course, Dally M Centre of the Year and runner-up in the overall award. Haley Maddock, who debuted for Queensland this year, now wins a premiership.
Gail Broughton.
In her last appearance for the Broncos, she's off to the Warriors next year, the Kiwi International. Great game.
Aneta Nua Asala.
One of 13 siblings. How many can say they've won an NRL or NRLW premiership?
Jada Ferguson.
Scored scored a very important try in the first half for the
Brianna
Broncos.
Clark.
Had a great game, didn't she, Brianna Clark, the front rower?
Lauren Dan.
The back rower transitioned from the back line last year. Scored a try last week. Scored a try last time these sides met.
Romy Tidesel.
No stranger to big occasions. Dally M Team of the Year, of course, plays for Queensland. 100-point season for her.
Keely Joseph.
Won a comp with the Roosters a few years ago. 4 times Indigenous All-Star. Plays for Queensland and Australia as well.
Destiny Brill.
And she was brilliant today, starting the hooker, her second game back from a calf injury, former Titan and Rooster.
Chelsea Lenarduzzi.
Recent 50-gamer, now a 4-time premiership winner, as well as her Origin and Test career.
Shanae Suzuka.
The first year of league was 2020 when they beat the Roosters. She didn't play in the grand final that year.
Suaso.
The Rookie of the Year, and she scored a very important try in that second half, didn't she, Gibbsy? And she played a great game and a great
Last but not
season.
least, the co-captains of the Brisbane Broncos, Tamika Upton and Ali Brigginshaw.
5 grand finals for 5 wins, Tamika Upton, if you don't mind. And Ali Brigginshaw, now a 4-time premiership winning captain as well, the co-skippers.
Got a great future too. You've got the youth there. of Shalem Suaso and the experienced Ali Brigginshaw, and Tamika Upton's still got plenty to offer as well for 2 or 3 seasons at least.
We've heard from both of them with our ABC post-game wrap-up. The players have just sort of formed there to receive their trophy as soon as they're finished having a quick chat on stage.
Telstra, the NRL. What a performance, what a crowd we had there. I know there were some Roosters out there, but thanks to the Bronx Nation out there. Strangey and the Roosters, what a game. I know that you faced some adversity there with so many injuries, but you just showed how truly classy your team is and the club and what you've been able to do as a club.
Just want to shout out to my little mate Taryn. We know you'll be back bigger and better. We bloody love you, Taz. Lastly, to the Broncos Club, led by Dave, to the girls, to Princey, to Paul, we bloody love you. Let's party.
There we go. Tamika Upton. A nice shout out there for their former Broncos teammate and Queensland teammate Taryn Aiken. As the trophy is passed over there from Peter Landis and Andrew Abdo. And the co-captains, coach with the players as well, and the Brisbane Broncos will lift the NRLW trophy.
The Brisbane Broncos.
And their fans are hoping it's not the last time the Broncos lift the trophy today here on this magnificent grand final day. What a game it was. Bridget Murphy, come in. One final chat from you down there. Just a quick final word on this grand final. It was unbelievable.
Oh, what a special moment for the Brisbane girls to fight back to end this dynasty from the Sydney Roosters that we've seen this season. There's no one else, I think, that could have done it for Brisbane. So how good's this celebration?
Thanks, Bridge. Great year for you as well here at the ABC Sport family. Thank you to John Gibbs. We've loved sharing at least part of this NRLW season with you. We would love to have done more games. Of course, the time slots weren't that friendly, but we came over the wet sail in a fantastic grand final. We love doing Origin and all of those things. Pacific Championships are coming up with the Gillaroos at home and all that still to come. So Gibbs, you'll stick around here with Q, with Louis, with MC as well as we put up here to the grand final. The Broncos and the Storm here on ABC Sport. Right now it's time for news.
ABC News, I'm Tanmaya Navada. Negotiators are travelling to Egypt for crucial talks tomorrow that could bring peace to Gaza. More from the BBC's Barbara Pletasha.
Senior U.S. envoys will be joining talks with Israeli negotiators and Arab mediators to work out the technical details for releasing the hostages. President Trump moved quickly to push for negotiations after Hamas accepted his proposal to free all those being held in exchange for Palestinian prisoners and a ceasefire. His personal engagement has given unusual momentum to the process. Last night, he said Israel had agreed to an initial line for pulling back its troops. Once Hamas accepts that, there will be an immediate ceasefire and the exchange can go ahead, he wrote on social media.
Meanwhile, at home, the Greens leader says Israel's ambassador should be expelled from Australia if he's not prepared to free 6 Australians who are part of a global flotilla aiming to deliver aid to Gaza. The Australians were part of around 450 activists detained by Israel when the global submerged flotilla was intercepted in international waters last week. Australians have been warned against joining the flotillas, and the government is in contact with its Israeli counterparts about the 6 detained citizens. Larissa Waters says the federal government needs to do all it can to ensure the safety of the 6 Australians.
I would like to see Foreign Minister Wong call on the Israeli ambassador here in Australia to let those 6 Australians be free and come home. If that ambassador's not prepared to do that, well, we should be expelling the Israeli ambassador.
US President Donald Trump has authorized the deployment of 300 National Guard troops to the city of Chicago to tackle so-called lawlessness there. It comes as a federal judge in the state of Oregon temporarily blocks the deployment of 200 troops to the city of Portland. The White House says local leaders in Chicago are refusing to quell violent riots, but Chicago City Councillor Byron Sigcho Lopez says recent immigration raids have been unjustified and inflammatory.
They are escalating violence
violence in the city. This is not making anyone safer. The raids that just did a few days ago, they were innocent people. They have not shown the need to go and terrorize families in the middle of the night, getting people naked in the middle of the street. Is that public safety? And they know that.
Making news back home, police have charged a Canberra man who allegedly threatened a woman and her son with a taser during an aggravated burglary. Tenzing Johnson has the details.
Police say the 23-year-old Chisholm man went to a home in Duffy yesterday afternoon, where he allegedly brandished a taser and demanded prescription drugs and cash from a woman and her son. Police say he forced the pair into a bedroom and allegedly continued to threaten them, only leaving once they promised to secure drugs for him. Officers arrested the man a short time later at another Duffy property. He has been charged with 4 counts of forcible confinement, 2 counts of making a demand with threat to kill, aggravated burglary and using a prohibited weapon. The man is due to face the ACT Magistrates Court tomorrow.
Police are appealing for witnesses as they investigate the death of an elderly woman in Sydney's West. 84-year-old Irene Selness was last seen by family members when she went to bed on Friday night at her home in Malonba. She was found dead the next day with injuries to her upper body. Acting Superintendent Gretchen Grove-Jones says the investigation is still in its early stages.
Her death is being treated as suspicious, and Strikeforce Vado has been established by Mount Druitt detectives, in addition to specialist detectives from State Crime Command's Homicide Squad. A post-mortem examination will be